Everybody's watching now, every eye's on you. Every single second counts, will you make it through? It's an uphill battle, and your knees are bruised. When the clock is ticking down, let your powers burn. Don't be afraid of a little fire, let it boom it. You were born and raised a fighter, let it boom it. Everyone's watching, show them what you do. What you were really here for, what you come to prove. And get them singing. Them singing. And get them singing. And get them singing.
This summer, the heat will rise with every game, every clash, and every choice. And somewhere in that heat, one team out of 28 will break through and stand tall as champions of Free Fire Max Asia Invitational 2026 Summer. 28 total teams, all from India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. Teams will come in hot and will only have one purpose: to be crowned by fire. South Asia play-ins starts from June 12th to June 14th. 18 teams will kick off the South Asia play-ins and will be divided into 3 groups of 6 each. 8 teams from India, 5 teams from Bangladesh, 3 teams from Pakistan, and 2 teams from Nepal. In a round-robin format, each group will play against the others over 3 days. At the end of day 3, only the top 8 teams out of 18 will move forward. For the remaining 10 teams, the journey ends. Main event starts from June 18th to June 20th. The 8 qualified teams from South Asia play-ins will then be challenged by the 10 invited teams. The top Indian team from Free Fire Max Asia Invitational 2026 Spring. 1 team each from Bangladesh, Nepal, and Pakistan. Joining the fray will be teams from across the ocean. 2 teams from Indonesia, 2 teams from Malaysia, and 2 teams from Thailand. Once again, 18 teams are split into 3 groups of 6, and in a round-robin stage that will last for 3 days, only 12 of the finest teams in all of Asia will move on to the last challenge. Grand Finals on 21st June. 1 day, 1 opportunity, no second chances. The Grand Finals will be played in Champion Rush format. To claim the title of champions, a team must first reach 90 points to activate Champion Rush, and then secure a booyah. At stake is not just the crown, but also the biggest share of the $50,000 prize pool. When the final moment arrives and the heat reaches its peak, only one team will rise above the rest, and only one team will be remembered as crowned by fire.
हेलो नमस्कार सत श्री अकाल आदाब, कैसे हैं आप लोग। टीयर लिस्ट टीयर रेटिंग लेके आ चुके हैं आपके साथ, और आज हमारे साथ टीयर रेटिंग करने के लिए 4 अमेजिंग एथलीट जुड़े हुए हैं। चलिए शुरू करते हैं टीयर रेटिंग की। सबसे पहली टीम गाइस ऑटोबॉट्स।
पिछली बार काफी अच्छा खेले थे वैसे, तो हीरोइक पे रख सकते हैं इनको।
अब हमारे सामने आ चुकी है टीम गॉडलाइक।
ग्रैंड मास्टर पे रख दो।
हाँ मेरे हिसाब से भी ग्रैंड मास्टर पे भी।
नोबिता यहाँ पे स्माइल दे रहे हैं कि आप कहीं पे भी रख लें, लेकिन मेरे लिए तो गॉडलाइक दिल में रहेगी, दिल से गॉडलाइक। और अब अगली टीम है स्ट्रॉ हैट्स।
स्ट्रॉ हैट्स को डायमंड पे रख सकते हैं, मारते तो अच्छा मारते हैं लोग।
इनका बंदा वेडिंग पे कैंप करके बैठा था भाई, इनको प्लेटिनम पे रखो।
फाल्कन्स को कहाँ रखा जाए, चारों खिलाड़ियों से पूछूंगा मैं।
ग्रैंड मास्टर से ऊपर अगर होती तो अगर रख देते इसको, तो
चैंपियंस पे रख दो। चैंपियंस पे कुछ एक बनाओ उस पे।
हाँ एक चैंपियन का बना दो।
बिगेट्रॉन बाय वाइटैलिटी, इन्हें कहाँ रखा जाए?
ग्रैंड मास्टर पे रख दो।
ये भी भाई है भाई, चैंपियंस पे भाई है, रख दो ग्रैंड मास्टर।
आईक्यू टोटल गेमिंग कहाँ रखना चाहेंगे?
ग्रैंड मास्टर यार, वो
ग्रैंड मास्टर पे रख दो।
और अब टीम हिंद, हमारे तेज FFMIC 2026 स्प्रिंग के चैंपियन
है, और इंडियन सर्वर में तो इनका कंपटीशन कोई दिख नहीं रहा है।
ग्रैंड मास्टर डालो इनको, क्योंकि अभी स्क्रिम्स भी चल रही थी जो बाहर की, उसमें भी काफी अच्छा खेल रहे थे।
A legend begins with a single spark. To reach the peak, you must conquer the heat.
Oh my god! What an
But the ultimate throne is never given to a survivor. It is claimed by the one who is crowned by fire.
Yeah, the world is watching now. Every eye's on you. Every single second counts. Will you make it through? It's an uphill battle, and your knees are bruised. When the clock is ticking down, let your powers burn. Don't be afraid of a little fire. Let it boom it. You were born and raised a fighter. Let it boom it. Now the world's watching. Show them what you do. What you were really here for, what you come to prove, and get them singing. And get them singing. And get them singing.
The race to the grand finals have started. Main event day 2, it is today. Group A and C are going to be battling it off, and Group C are coming to their last 6 games of the leg of their journey, whereas Group A is starting it off. Welcome back to the FFMAI Asia Invitational 2026 summer. My name is Lucifer. With me on the desk is Neptune Gentleman Garcia, and today we're going to see what Group C has in the bag.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they do have a good chance to watch what happened between Group B and C, or Group B and C from yesterday. I'm really looking forward to what Group CA is going to bring to the table right now, because there is a few instances wherein some of the teams from Group C didn't really perform. So those are the target of Group A right now if they really want to take advantage of that situation. But hopefully, those from Group C, especially Straw Hats, Autobots, as well as MAQNA Esports, can recover. Because if they did what they did yesterday, that would be definitely the bottom 6 of the leaderboard by the end of the day.
I hope they're able to make sure that they get towards that position. If they don't, we know what just happened in the South Asia Plains, right? It's a tough one. This time, it's not Group B taking the brunt of not playing on the last day. It's going to be Group C teams. And we saw some of them had trouble. And you mentioned, right, MAQNA, I hope they make a change, a team from Malaysia. But there's going to be another powerhouse coming in from Malaysia today, joining this 12 teams for the battle towards the grand finals to be crowned by fire. That's what we are super excited for. But yes, Group C teams, a lot to run for. Yesterday we saw HOTSHOT, who got their booyah. REVENANT, XSPARK almost looking good. So they're around that top 5, top 6 positions. It's about the others who make sure that what RRQ Kazu, BIGETRON by Vitality, Team Falcons, and especially we always keep talking Southeast Asian teams. They keep taking away these FFMAI Asia Invitational titles. Let's see if there is South Asia with the aggression they had in South Asia Plains.
And speaking of South Asia play-ins, it did happen from last week, and that's where our tournament began, from 12th to the 14th of June. And now we are in the main event. Today, we're going to start it off in the second day, or we're going to have a second day right now, and this is the last chance for Group C to really bring it on, get to the top 12, and prepare themselves onto the Grand Finals champion rush just on the same week. And this is what it makes it difficult for some of the teams right now. I'm getting ahead of myself because we're going into the 21st of June already. But there's only one day, or not really one day of rest before they go into the Grand Finals, which might be difficult for some teams who's reliant on studying their opponents.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very tough if teams are unable to get towards the grand finals. Disappointments already, especially for the South Asian, because we did see some big names who did not make their entry. But yes, all of that aside, the main event has started. We saw what day 1 brought us. The South Asian teams were keeping in a toe-to-toe matchup, and today, as we already spoke about it, Group A teams, and like we saw Demon's Pride yesterday, we saw BIGETRON by Vitality, we saw all of them doing their just. But today, we're going to see All Gamers Global, AURORA Gaming, them making their entry. We're going to see SATL Esports, who set the record in the highest total points in the South Asia Plains. It's going to be an exciting run today in this main event, and follows the same suit. If anybody's joining in new, the grand finals is in the champion rush, but both the South Asia Plains and the main event has that 3-day round robin, and 18 teams split into 3 different groups.
And you did mention about 3 days, but out of those, the teams only have 2 days of play time. So it makes it more difficult for those who need a few more of a warm-up to get the point. But speaking of point, we're going to increase the number of points needed for the teams to activate a champion rush once we get into the grand finals. From 80 previously, now we bump it up by 10 onto the 90 points. And we've seen as well that some of the teams managed to pull it off from yesterday after 6 games, like RQ Kazu, Team Falcons, who managed to get 100 plus in those matches. So it's evident that this can be achievable in even less than 6 games. But after that, if they get the booyah, they will be declared the champions. And this is what we're looking forward to. The teams who can be consistent in getting in the final circle, as well as being that getting that booyah to secure themselves the ticket for the championship. But what are they fighting for? What are the motivation of the team? It's more the prize pool that we have. It's a total of $50,000 US, Lucifer.
Yeah, cha-ching across the board, Neptune.
Oh, yeah.
$50,000 US, and the champions walk away with $15,000 US. Second place team gets 7,500, third place 3,500, fourth place have 3,000. And just follow the suit, not just till the 12th position who have $1,400. Even the teams at the 18th place, I know that they're getting a part of the prize pool, which is $500. But for all the efforts they did, I don't want any team missing out and staying in the 18th. We've seen such incredible play. We cannot count out either the South Asian teams or the Southeast Asian teams. Everybody is doing well. But it's a part and parcel of the race. Some win, some move ahead, some don't. But there is something, especially for all the teams who made it to the main event.
Yeah, I mean, what would change your position on leaderboard to get higher on the prize pool? That would be the points. And on a point system, the cardinal rule of Free Fire, if you get a booyah, you get 12 points. It goes down drastically on second point. Pretty similar from what we've seen on the prize pool, but it goes down by 1 up until the 10th place. It's just unfortunate the 11th and 12th place will get nada, zilch, nothing out of the point system. That's why we see a lot of teams in the hot crops getting a lot of elimination, because one elimination is equivalent to 1 point to help them stack it up. But in case in any part of the tournament we get a tie, we first count the number of booyahs followed by the number of elimination, and if that doesn't break the tie, we go for a ranking in the final game. And as Crips always mention, we never see this happen all throughout.
I mean, I'm so sad. I mean, I shouldn't be saying this, Neptune, but honestly, yes, we would want to see a tiebreaker somewhere in the mix, and especially the buffers created to 12. But when we talk about a buffer, there's no buffer in this rule. This is set in stone. One unique active skill. Each player within a team has to have a different active skill, and it cannot repeat. Yes, this is something that we've always talked about, and it is a very crucial point to be talked about, Neptune, because this brings so much change in the gameplay that we end up enjoying. No two teams are always alike in terms of having their active skills.
Yeah, exactly. In combination with passive skills as well, you can see what is the intention of the teams. There's also a lot of creativity being brought in by most of the teams right now, switching over some Corona with a Steffi, or probably the support would be using something of an active skill that can be used as a rusher. So those kind of changes would give you a 1-up or probably bring you down if in case you're not used to it. But as we mentioned in the beginning of the show, we're going to introduce a new set of teams. It is Group A right now with Extreme X, Total Winners, SAUL Esports, All Gamer Global, Titan Esports Club, and Aurora Gaming. That will be joining the teams who played yesterday, which is MAQNA Esports Club. We have Straw Hats, REVENANT XSPARK, HOTSHOT Esports, AUTOBOTZ Esports, and BIGETRON by Vitality.
3 teams are the only one from Group C who've had a great day. That's going to be REVENANT XSPARK, HOTSHOT, as well as BIGETRON by Vitality. Now, AUTOBOTZ, Straw Hats, and MAQNA, they have to do a lot of heavy lifting, especially, I think, for AUTOBOTZ, that, like we talk about Aurora Gaming, All Gamers Global, Titan Esports Club, now they are the giants from their region. Now, AUTOBOTZ, they had that same invited slot here in the main event. And unfortunately, the start has not been great for them. They've been trying, but they've been missing out on their opportunities. But one team that has not missed out on their opportunities is Extreme X and Total Winner. Their South Asia Plains run were incredible, and Total Winner just took it with the storm on the last day of our South Asia Plains.
Yeah, I do agree, and that's just recovery from what happened in the previous season. They managed to get into the 17th place. They got eliminated on the play-ins, and they didn't qualify the main event. Now they're recovering out of that. This is redemption time for them. For Extreme X, they managed to push through from the previous season, from the spring season, qualified onto 8th place, but still ended on the 8th place on the grand final. So that's still tough luck from them, and hopefully this time around, with the frequency that we have between spring and summer, they have more momentum, they have more knowledge as well, and even if we have a few invited teams who will be the first timer in this match, they have some information for those returnees that they can capitalize on.
But something in terms of information that MAQNA Esports Club are going to take a hit today as well is going to be a new set of 6 teams playing against them. Yesterday already was a very difficult run for them, Neptune. And today, another set of 6 teams, and they've been on the bashing end of things. They've been loving to get those hits. When we talk about right as now SATL Esports, and on the other end now earlier Raiders United, they ended up in the top of their overall standings in the South Asia Plains. Now if that's going to be replicated, the fans will be looking forward to. But before we jump to that performance, we have to talk about where the obstacles stand. It starts off with our game number 1, which is Purgatory, following the suit of Kalahari Solara, which is our first 3 games, me and Neptune here. And on the other end, for Bermuda, Nextera, and the 6th questionable randomizer, we're going to bring in Crips as well as Urka. This is going to be a fantastic run. And for having Nextera at game number 5, Neptune, I like that there is a chance for teams in Group C to get a lot in terms of points.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also thinking that Purgatory is part of the first half where I'll be casting because I love this map. But one thing I love is numbers, and these are the numbers that the teams will need to make to be able to qualify. Current cutoff based on calculation of this tournament is 139. It might change as teams are stacking up all the numbers, but we did point out Straw Hats, Autobots, as well as MAQNA Esports on the lower end when it comes to this set of groups. So this is a good chance for them to really make up for lost points from yesterday, or probably just beat them down, because right now we don't have Group B, we don't have RQ Kazu, Team Falcons, even Team Apex Gaming, who can bring him down. But you brought up a good point, we still have Titans in Group A, and we don't even know how they're going to perform.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. These Titans coming in. MAQNA need almost around 100 points based on this cutoff. But when we looked at our South Asia Plains, it was 10 points additional to the cutoff that we had predicted. So the teams at the last Straw Hats, Autobots, and MAQNA have a heavy lifting to do. But when we talk about the heavy lifters, we have to talk about the main event meta, the weapons who do the heavy lifting. And at the top of the chart, and I'm pretty sure everybody knew that this weapon is going to be the one. That's the M590, 57,000 damage. But closing in with that is MAC-10 on that super revival that people get. They are going all out in that weapon. I did not think it's going to be a MAC-10 Neptune.
I do agree, but we're being told the story right now out of a main meta, because on the early drop we have the mini Uzi, and it's number 4 right now on the list. If you get revived, you have the MAC-10 on you, and that's the second in the list that we have right now. So it means that those coming back are still bringing, despite of having some unfortunate event wherein they got eliminated. But how proficient the teams are is just insane right now. And speaking of insanity, we are seeing a lot of teams in this preferred drop spot who will be going for those early engagement. We have some in Brasilia, we have Ski Lodge, we have Forge as well, being occupied by more than one team. But there's one thing that I really love for I would say for Titan Esports Club, if they push with that moat house, because this is a clear view around that compound, not so much of a contention unless someone drop in with you.
This play itself, I really like coming in from Titan Esports Club. So far in our main event day 1, we did not see anybody going that direction. But AJ has always mentioned that if you are new and if you're just jumping in, take the safest position on the map and then figure your play, understand the opponents, and then start hitting. And I think that's what Titan Esports Club, especially them being one of the best from Bangladesh, they're playing here on their very first for the FFMAI. This is their in general debut, whereas the other teams, majority of them we've seen. Aurora Gaming as well. It's one of the teams we're going to be seeing from Malaysia, and they are the powerhouses of Malaysia. They've been beating around the block and ruling around in that region. And let's see what's going to happen with our predictions as well, if we are going to make a mark or a dent in terms of it being right or wrong, Neptune.
Yeah, well, looking at our predictions right now, I'm all in South Asia play-ins for the moment. All of these teams has managed to get 1 booyah and higher enough compared to the other teams within this specific group. So I'm rooting for Straw Hats, total winners, as well as HOTSHOTs for now.
On the other end, I've gone in for Aurora Gaming, and that's the reason I was already talking about them. And that is because I want to see the Malaysian squads. That's the same thing I hoped for the Nepal squads as well in the South Asia Plains, and that's what I'm looking forward to. MAQNA have not had the best start. Aurora, on the other end, I have high hopes for them. We've seen a tad bit of glimpse on their end. This is, however, their debut, their first game. On the other end, HOTSHOT, because of what they did yesterday, they got their booyah in Purgatory itself. And now if you're going down to a familiar land, it should be HOTSHOT getting their booyah. And then I've gone in for REVENANT XSPARK, who have always been consistent. And I think the most consistent, and this thing you even brought about when we were just talking behind the curtains, is REVENANT XSPARK have been very consistent in their performance throughout the FFMAIs.
Yeah, I mean, FFMAI, 3 out of 3, they're part of this competition. So they are the veterans of this tournament right now. But I do agree with Aurora Gaming as well, because the breakout run that they have on their own region is a step closer to being Titans in this mix. But let's see, though, if this is a chance, this is a map, that they will show sheer dominance, because neither heaven or hell can save who will be slowing down this battle. But I'm expecting a cruel flight path right now. It's just unfortunate that Purgatory doesn't want to be cruel. They want to be fair, and they're bringing the teams from the north, from Moat House, down to Central.
When we talk about being fair, it seems like Total Winner right out of the gate did not want to give Titan Esports Club an opportunity. We never see teams, and this time we see 2 teams dropping at Moat House, and it seems like Titan Esports Club, they decide to move in the other direction. On the other end, Brasilia seems to be a little bit of in hot contention. Revenant XSPARK is there, All Gamers Global, AUTOBOTZ as well, and Extreme X. It seems like barely any teams are going to the west end of Purgatory and the southern end. We barely see 2 or 3 teams at max at all. On the other end, it seems a little bit of trouble here. Titan Esports Club trying to run away, but it doesn't work out. Troll had him pinned down. Confirmation as well, and the openings found by SHUL Esports.
And that's one thing, though. I mean, even if you try to play it safe, pulling away from Total Winners who drop into Moat House, there's still a lot of teams surrounding you. So there's no way out. All you have to do is really loot up, find a good hiding spot, or probably find a path wherein you might be a little bit safe. But there's no safety if BIGETRON by Vitality is involved. And there goes Kunal being taken down by BIGETRON by Vitality. MAQNA right now trying to rush into the tower, but Koja will be taken down. It's shot from downtown from AUTOBOTZ Johan. That only leaves only Kyong into the mix of BIGETRON, and despite of how well and how much prestige they have, it seems like they are now in the back foot.
They are. Yesterday as well, in the 5 games that we witnessed, BIGETRON were always the best in the early games. They were undeniable. But now, in game number 6 in today's, almost about to be swept off. On the other end, AUTOBOTZ have completely shown on the different card. They started day 2 with a pack of a punch. They've got their eliminations. But Kyong, thankfully, in time made a run. Vending machine very close by. He is hearing sounds that there are teams close by trying to make a run. But Kyong, he will get 2 of his teammates back into the game. However, Extreme X on the other end seems like they are ready for a fight. Same goes for SHUL Esports, but All Gamers Global, it seems like they've been taking fights in 2 directions. Just got an elimination on SHUL, and now MAQNA in front of them. And it's going to be Barros. It seems like he has no reinforcement here, but is still ready with a P90 to fire 1v2. But no! Tried his best. Virus will put him down, and All Gamers Global will lose a player. Doesn't seem like they've still found the best footing, but they already have 4 eliminations.
Yeah, I do agree, and I'm really loving as well, because when we featured the Mini Uzi, I forgot the fact that the teams are not letting go of the Mini Uzi because of how powerful it is on the CQC. If you have long-range weapon and you need an SMG, or I would say a pistol SMG, then that Mini Uzi would be a great weapon. But Bunny right now, bunny hopping and trying to survive, but unfortunately there's Tusin who seen him too soon, and he brings him down. Now, on the other side is SAUL. Going in for Chase, spots out 1 player, or make that 3 players from Total Winners. I'm not sure if Jack has any backup that will be waited on, but he does pull up the M590. Good chance if he can isolate, he can bring him down. But that Jeep just wrecked his glue wall, and he is now on the ground.
Unfortunate for SHUL Esports, they only got 1 elimination, and from there on it just seems like they're trying to hold a position, get a compound. We saw Bunny trying to go in, and he was surprised. He got eliminated. On another player trying to make a run, gets spotted by Total Winner now. Let's hope that they will have an opportunity to get back into the game. Holding right next to the Arsenal are the Bunny, who just got revived. Jack as well. Prince coming closer, and it seems like finally a reunion here for SHUL Esports. And going into the Arsenal, they will have better accessories. They will have better utilities going in for them in the fight. However, Total Winner, after getting their elimination, seems like they want to keep the aggression going on. Extreme X, this challenge on the uphill battle becomes an exchange. Using the Cassie, trying to go in for a quick revive. It's not working out. Helping out to Scene for how long can he hold this off? Not for long. Total Winner coming, jumping, and send the shotgun bullets across Extreme X's players.
Let's see now. Rusty is now on the wheels. Will he be able to get most of those coins to revive their teammates? But I think there's enough for him to be able to do so. He managed to drive out of that battle, out of that contention. But looking at AG Global, I think this is the first time that we're seeing, or probably second time, but they have racked up 9 elimination already. But there goes the first team out. AUTOBOTZ out in the 6th place, and only 4 elimination ended in this area, or in that fight. Correction, that's out in 12th place. 6 currently because of the elimination that they have, but it's not enough. Soon enough, they will be pushed down.
From Group C, they better understand that this first game, 4 eliminations will not help out at all. You already mentioned, we spoke about it. No placement points for them. But BIGETRON by Vitality, their fight with the Titan Esports Club, Dex jumps right in. The MAC-10 this time doesn't work. It's only the meta on the graphics, but nothing else. And BIGETRON, their early game is still not working. This time, it is Sibang. Last time, Keong got them back up. This time, Sibang has only 600. 1 super revival is all he can do. Trouble. But however, AG Global, no trouble for them as he surprises who? Cypher gets that elimination confirmed. Nil wanted to trade it out, but it's just too far. He does the knock, but Straw Hats, you cannot be so spread apart. And AG Global, who already are off to a brilliant start here in their day 1 performance for them, 11 eliminations in Straw Hats. They have just one last player, and it seems like Nil has been spotted. He was the one who put Cypher down, got that knock, and now Nil, if he goes down, it is done for Straw Hats, and they will put him to rest. Nameless with the AC-80 will put the 11th team out.
The moment he steps in the car, he sees him as the Horizon. That is trouble already. It's just unfortunate. Straw Hats together with AUTOBOTZ right now, part of the 3 teams at currently in the bottom of Group C has been taken out. If we go with the pattern, MAQNA Esports would be next, but hopefully MAQNA Esports will pull away from that pattern. But the engagement still happens between HOTSHOT and REVENANT XSPARK, 2 teams coming from yesterday's game, but the points is not that much. It's only 1 for each, and their numbers are also dwindling. The zone will be closing in 35 seconds, and they need to move fast to regroup. Otherwise, they might be lost later and might be following teams that got eliminated already.
Yeah, it seems like it. Following that suit of elimination, Group C, they're playing their second day today, and it seems like they're already getting it. SATUL on the other end, the fight with Aurora, it seems like it's not working. Zoes puts the player down, and the last one, he also gets taken down by Azriel. That is an end for the boys of SATUL Esports. Not a great start. Finally, something for the Group C teams to be at least happy about, Neptune. That one team from Group A got eliminated. Otherwise, it almost looked like a wipeout for all the teams from Group C. And there it is. Aurora not letting HOTSHOT run away.
Yeah, I mean, there's no running away from that fight. He even sneak up behind him as he's healing up. But as we look in the replay coming from AG Global, how they took down the players from AUTOBOTZ right here, and they managed to isolate everyone from those engagements, making sure that their teammates are free from shots from the outside, and they have manpower to take down their opponents. But it's just unfortunate, both AUTOBOTZ and SATUL, and SATUL, they've seen a lot of a potential getaway from that moment. It just so happens that they didn't escape as quickly as possible. They don't have those launch pads. They don't have enough glue wall to cover themselves as they regroup, as well as heal up. And they were just taken advantage of from that situation. But now it's a battle of AG Global and TEC right now from Bangladesh. And let's see if Titan Esports Club will be the Titans. Look at dude, that angle that he's taking, and everyone is forcing TEC to move out of the compound to give a clear view on Du.
Oh my god, the amount of barrage coming in from AG Global. Look at the nades being tossed. They're relentless on this. UAV finally used to make a move, but AG Global are not letting a Titan Esports Club get closer. Look at Cypher already having the flank. So there is no space for a rush, but they're still forcing it. The battle has to happen right now. Nameless outside spot is a player trying to take down Blade as well as Najad. And so far, only Rahat gets caught. Unfortunate, he was not in the mix in this battle. Now Blade has to hold off, but Cypher wants to put it down. They're having an exchange of their own, but Najad finally puts Cypher down, and that is an opportunity for Titan Esports Club to turn this around, Neptune.
Yeah, great pick up, but Taifa will be brought back. Not the same for Rahat right now for Titan Esports Club. And I'm loving how the isolation play that's being done by AG Global has been averted by Titan Esports. And talk about who's the best sniper. We thought it's Zoo, but Kutush, the moment he managed to get that shot, he get that shot. Now, a revive might happen. Only one though. Will not be back in play, and AG Global is quite equalized in terms of number. Barros might be knocking this door, and Nejad might be taken out. But Thompson, X in hand, he managed to beat him, and AG Global only left with one, and this might be it for the teams from Thailand.
And the position is revealed. They know where he is. He's on top of the roof. Titan Esports Club, brilliant fight that they were able to deal to AG Global, and Dew, he did not find an opportunity. Kutush, who was taken down, will be brought back. And finally, Rahat with the Mac 10. This is why it was the meta. And AG Global, All Gamers Global with the 16 eliminations, started off so heavy. And we thought Group A teams are going to run away with the booyah. It finally comes to an end. It's still Titan Esports Club from Group A itself. But these Titans, they rise up and challenge Thailand and take this battle in their own lands.
Yeah, let me break it out how that battle started, because it seems like AG Global has a one-up against Titan Esports Club. We have a Dew on the flank already, and then the 3v3 battle is happening in front. But they didn't expect the A124 be popped against AG Global, and that shortened or that pushed AG Global away from what they intended to do, like a three-man push, and Titan Esports Club just spread out. But after that, we've seen AG Global go for the isolation play with the glue walls, but with those quick movement coming from TEC, he managed to survive, goes in for the final knock, and then revive a couple of their teammates from that engagement. And from then on, AG Global is just falling down like flies as they are being revived.
Unfortunate for them. That battle almost looked to be full cinematic for us. But AG Global, that's a quick run put to an end. 16 eliminations, however, that's a lot that they get out of Purgatory, and also be a team to be eliminated. So they don't have to be worried. This was just their first game, and if they're able to deal so much, it's the other teams from Group C who have to be worried if these teams from Group A are running away. But right now, MAQNA want to make a run of their own. They need at least 100 plus points today, and it is to start now. 4 eliminations is something they've already gotten. On the other end, we already see Titan Esports Club. They're trying to fight with the Titans of yesterday. BIGETRON by Vitality, but Nejad, he's the one, he gets taken down, but that's unfortunate. That's from another team, and Rahat played all well randomly, and thanks to the team who are afar. That's MAQNA who did the deed, but it's going to be pickings for BIGETRON by Vitality.
It's not even over. I mean, they can deal with BIGETRON by Vitality, and what they use is just an FGL, plus a few of the snipes coming from MAQNA Esports. But with the pressure being brought in by BIGETRON, seems like TEC couldn't really pull away from that engagement. It's a good thing that they have one more player on their side, but I think Dix already have him spotted, and he have that valiant dash to rush against him, but they also need to manage the timing of the zone because they don't have Z-Bank to go for a flank and give them an opening or information. But Launchpad already thrown, and Koja might be able to lead them into the next zone, and what a great move if they're not taken down.
Oh my god, this is a brilliant position. They take the roof away from MAQNA, and MAQNA confused what to do. They wanted to hold the edge of the circle, and now they've been put outside. But BIGETRON, trouble still strikes. There's HOTSHOT still inside this position. Instant recovery thanks to the position that they have, but it's not safe. Boltmaker also called. MAQNA, thankfully, they are not in sight of HOTSHOT. So HOTSHOT will be very busy to try to take down these jumpers who made their launchpad strike. To see... It seems like finally Titan Esports Club, the last players who's standing, will be taken down. Extreme X on the other end, they are trying to make this work even against AURORA and helping them out. It seems like REVENANT XSPARK. Zreal trying his best. He's trying to send the shots. He has the Winchester ready. Flicker. He's picking players out, but there comes in Total Winner as a complete survivors who completely throw the game off for Extreme X and put them in disarray, and now Total Winner just eliminate them and make their run. 9 eliminations, but right in front, BIGETRON by Vitality. They did not presume this. A fight breaks out right in front of the Arsenal.
I don't know what the ideation for BIGETRON by Vitality is. I think they want to be stronger, but they are falling down. And it is total winners. Who's about to win this fight? It's a 1v2 situation. Dix might not have the weapon to eliminate the two players from total winners. But either way, it's a loss for both teams because they are ending in the final circle with less players and a lot of damage has been dealt already against them. And let's see, Dix switching over with AWM as well as M590. He can go for long range, he can go for short range, but he's also short on time.
Diggs, this is going to be very difficult for him. He's all alone, but the M59...
Flank right now, but behind them is REVENANT XSPARK, so they need to deal with that as well. There's a lot of pressure coming from all of the corner of this zone, and MAQNA Esports, like, surprisingly showing a little bit of difference from their gameplay yesterday. They know what is at risk. They know that they don't want to be sleeping around in this fight, and they can bring the fire. But they're going against veterans of Free Fire Max Asia Invitational, and you can see how well REVENANT XSPARK is trying to survive this battle.
MAQNA, I would have had them in my predictions. The only reason I did not, because this before... mere numbers. They don't have much to go with. REVENANT XSPARK, Ursh trying to spot the player out, try to find an opening, shots being taken, but the players from MAQNA, they've already moved ahead. And Ursh is only shooting at the glue walls, no opening being found. But Sami, he makes a run and now he's troubling. And BIGETRON by Vitality, the last man standing. Somehow Dix trying to protect himself. Chrono being activated. What can Dix do here? And now MAQNA, they make their rush, but Prince instantly shuts them down. And Prince and Sami together as MAQNA try to answer back, make it work, put an end to them. And MAQNA now have to deal with a lot more difficulty because REVENANT XSPARK, they're charging in. Winzy and Yans are the last ones surviving, and REVENANT XSPARK are not giving any chance for recovery for MAQNA, and REVENANT XSPARK get the booyah here on day 2.
And what an amazing run for REVENANT XSPARK. We thought that they will be falling down after they went face to face against MAQNA Esports, because as we mentioned, MAQNA Esports is quite different this Arsenal to the edge of the circle. Dix was still surviving. If it wasn't for MAQNA Esports, he could manage to reduce the number of total winners from 2 to 1, and probably it's still a valiant effort for all the teams right here. Let's take a look at the spot as everything in this fight. Actually, this is not the end. This is close to the end, and by MAQNA Esports.
To be honest here, Neptune, they played so well, so efficient, and even in this fight where they run right to his BIGETRON, if that opening was not found, I think MAQNA had they would have converted. MAQNA had numbers that they were not that great. REVENANT
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of elimination that is involved in this battle. We have All Gamers Global. I mean, being eliminated much earlier than some of the teams, but because of the elimination that they have, it seems like they have a good chance later on. But our game MVP, we have Arsh from REVENANT XSPARK. 4 eliminations, 1,385 in damage. Not so much of damage right here, as well as 0 assists, but the ideation is to be aggressive with a Valiant Dash coming from Oscar. They also have the Joseph and JV combination to make you a little bit buffed up in the front line, and that Nikita to increase your fire rate. And he's not even using a CQC weapon despite of being a rusher.
Yeah.
He's also using that SVD, and we know for a fact that long-range engagement is somewhat a meta, not only for Free Fire Max Asia Invitational, but Free Fire all over.
But it was very surprising to kind of see this weapon being his weapon in the MVP screen. And on top of it, right, when we look towards our main event meta, we saw only 2 sniper weapons coming through. One was the VSK and the AWM, and both were in the 3rd and the 5th position, nowhere close to the top. And that tells us that yes, it is the meta of the snipers, but the amount of close range battles are just beating in terms of the damage overall. But while we talk about the snipers, while Arsh has had it, it is going to be Vincent's role as he has the most, Moko, Suzy and Maro. It still says he's going to be the rifler. That's how different this team is in terms of their roles that they predict on. Kunal playing with the A124 with the Beastian and Alvaro tells us that he's the grenadier, but he's the IGL as well, commanding this squad. And Sohan on the other end with the enhanced hammer coming through, having the chrono on top of it with the Thiva. Just tells us that he will not let the side of his teammates at all.
And there's one thing, I'm just focused on Kunal for a little bit longer, because the combination of that A124 and that Beastin increase the range of your thrill battle. And we mentioned about that thrill battle being the game changer for their battle against AG Global. But I'm really loving the numbers that they brought in right now. It's not that much compared to the others, but with that Booyah, it moves them higher on the leaderboard and probably away from being relegated, being in a risk, because they're very close to that cut-off line, that 139 that we have set in the beginning of the show.
With the cutoff at close, let's talk about the circle analysis as the zones closing in on teams. We spoke about Moat House. The fight started off. We saw SATL, Titan Esports Club, all of them having trouble. But then how Conversion worked for Titan Esports Club. They troubled Bigetron by Vitality. They moved towards AG Global, took them down as well, as you can see on the map. And we thought it should be mostly Titan Esports Club who should get this booyah. That's how very confident they looked. If not Titan Esports Club, it was Aurora. But both of them, they were playing outside the zone, and for them to make across, Aurora on the complete west end of the map, they had to make a jump across the riverbed, and that jump did not work in their favor. Aurora got taken down. Revenant XSPARK were right in that line. MAQNA Esports Club becoming trouble for Bigetron as well as Titan Esports Club. And MAQNA, we thought that they would have an opportunity. And to trouble MAQNA, we ended up seeing total winner. This final fight itself was completely unpredictable. Who's going to have the chance? Who's going to take it away? Who's winning it? Completely clueless. And just because of how this map unfolded, Neptune, you could see how on the standings of that game, it has had a downfall. The maximum total points that we end up seeing is 20, and after that 19, 19, 19, 18, 15. So nobody's gotten closer to 30. Meaning Group A teams have already started off with a bang, whereas Group C teams are in big trouble. Straw Hats, Autobots barely got anything. Even Hotshots only made away with 6 points. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's getting tougher and tougher for the teams right now. And you did point out that some of the teams we were expecting to be on the final circle. Titan Esports Club, if it wasn't for MAQNA's FGL, they would have made it. But Bigetron was just next to them. So let's push that aside for a moment. Let's focus on what's going to happen, because we are set for our next map. It is Kalahari, and in this next map, I think the Hot Drops is still there, but not so much of team. But if we review on what the preferred Hot Drops, as well as the actual Hot Drops that happen in Purgatory, though it's a perfect flight path, but they are still in the mindset that they want to go for chaos. So I believe in game number 2, more chaos will ensue.
Yeah, big time. And one chaos that I kind of already see is going to be towards our complete west end of the map. And if the position where Extreme X and AG Global are going to actually drop, and we already saw, right? Extreme X have not had the best so far in terms of their game, but it's still Group A. So the maze should put them in a position where they're unable to actually exit out of the maze. Maybe because of how we saw AG Global in their fight. When they kind of get isolated, that's where it seems like AG Global's breakpoint is. Otherwise, they're super duper strong. But that put aside, as you mentioned, yes, teams are spread around here in Kalahari as we go ahead. In terms of fights, also, we don't end up seeing very much happening right at the beginning, but the possibility is super high because this is open lands in Kalahari. The grapple gun coming through. On top of that, snipers loving heaven is what this is. But on top of that, we'll also see if our predictions are going to get any love throughout. You guys also can put up in the chat thinking which team can take away the booyah in this game.
Well, looking at current predictions, I'm seeing that you have SAUL, you have AUTOBOTZ, you have BIGETRON. For me, I'm still relying on REVENANT XSPARK because out of the South Asia play-ins, they managed to get 2 booyahs in this game, and we were still seeing that momentum shift to their favor. I'm also adding in AURORA as well as AGAL because when we look into Southeast Asia spring 2026, they have greater potential in bringing the numbers in this specific map.
I agree on your picks. I think, honestly, that should be the top 3 towards the end of the game, but I've gone in for the risky picks. SATL Esports, AUTOBOTZ are not having a great time. SATL tried, but it did not work out completely. And BIGETRON by Vitality, I think they just had a very off game here in Purgatory. Barely got their footing, and they were just getting picked off. Unfortunate for them, so I think they will have a chance. However, yeah, if I would have wanted to change, not go for the risky ones, I would have clearly replicated your predictions. AG Global already doing it, AURORA Gaming brilliant out of the gate, and REVENANT XSPARK have to do it. As you mentioned already, they've already gotten booyahs in this very game in the South Asia plane, so they're looking very confident. And this change up, right, there were questions when Kunal joined REVENANT XSPARK. How is he going to command this? Then Sohan coming into the play. It seems like finally that is in the works for the right direction, and as we said, 100% their position is always there in FFMAI. On the other end, AUTOBOTZ, who missed their IGL, him making a shift. How is it going to work out? So far, it's not worked out at all for them, but it's time for Kalahari. If they're able to space themselves well, there is a chance. This is a game out for eliminations where everybody can see everybody.
Well, let's see though. I mean, definitely they will have a great view of everybody. Let's take a peek though where the teams are coming from. So it's from Council Hall heading into Mammoth right now, but similar to what happened earlier. Once the flight has been set, we have a lot of teams dropping in early, and we might be seeing SAUL going against Extreme X, and right next to them would be BIGETRON by Vitality. So it is looking like trouble for a lot of teams from that northern part. As we look into the other teams, they will be dropping in safe. So that's the only focus that we have for the moment.
Yeah, it seems like this is the heavy lot. Even AURORA are here at confinement. AURORA, they've already started doing the damage. Zuez gets one pick at SATL. Bunny is already down. Jack trying to run out, get those coins. Prince trying to hold off the lot coming in from AURORA. Zuez, a little damage on him. Extreme X helping out here for SATL Esports. This is the opportunity. Flicker has already got one target in front of him. Prince wants to put another, and that throw gun finally works. But Tassine, right behind him, puts him down. Exchanges are very quick here at confinement, and it doesn't seem to be that this fight is confined to any one team yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 3-way battle right now, but June is in trouble. Going solo, despite of them being elimination leader. But there goes a takedown against Jack. And he must have expected 2 players in there. But that Cassie connection, that was a downfall from that moment, because you will spend a lot more bullets in bringing them down. But same goes for the other teams who will be capitalizing on them looting up before the engagement. And one of those is MAQNA Esports Club. But now we're taking a peek of on Refinery. We have total winners who I believe has no contention, so they made sure of that, releasing a lot of UAVs right here, so spot out any of those opponents. But with launch pad that is available, it's not a mini launch pad, it's a huge launch pad. They can reach great lengths in rotating.
Let's see if this rotation that MAQNA did a hit on Extreme X will work for Extreme X, and it seems like Jun. alone decided to challenge, thought that he had an opportunity. Now, XTMX did a little bit of a boo like this. They got a boo-boo hit coming in from the end of MAQNA. They made a jump from here in the other direction. MAQNA said, hey, this is not your position. And then XTMX decided to get back towards confinement and confine the complete area in their favor. But REVENANT XSPARK trying to do the same against BIGETRON by Vitality. 2 of 2 exchange on both the ends in Sohan.
Oh no.
He'll also be hit by Sibang. Sibang is so far away, but it's because of the Bolt Maker. That's the damage coming in. Ursh instantly goes into the compound, waits for the Bolt Maker to go away, and now Vincent wants to close the distance. I think he has an idea where Sibang is. Ursh in the meantime quickly gets up that revive. 2 eliminations. BIGETRON by Vitality, it was their 2 players, but still not much found here by REVENANT XSPARK. Going in for the third, Vincent was not able to find where Sibang made a runoff. But Ursh, after getting his teammate up now at Council Hall, spots XTREMEX, and they are ready to take hits one after another.
Sibang just tailing tails, and he just took the best opportunity as XTREMEX steps into Council Hall. So there's no elimination just yet for BIGETRON by Vitality.
He zoomed away.
He just zoomed away, and there goes a double revival for BIGETRON, and they're back in play. But the focus now is in Council Hall, where we have REVENANT XSPARK, who got 3 eliminations out here, and XTREMEX, because they were spotted, or probably expecting that it's the same player from the same team who zoomed away across them. They will be in a slowdown right now, but that lightning zone might force them to move out of covers into the crosshairs of REVENANT XSPARK. But switching over, we are now seeing Autobots, who I would say is spread out a little too thin. This is not a plan if you want to get numbers, especially in this early of the game, and you're down bottom of the leaderboard.
Leaderboard, bottom and it is going to be Autobots. A dash. Mad God want to get a knock, and he does with that skill. Oscar's really in dash, but the fight is still not put to rest. Jack is there with the MP5, and Autobots are still in deep troubles. Quick elimination pick Troll. 1 more player being knocked. Jack is still close by power, and Mad God in big trouble. Glue walls being destroyed. Another knock being found once again. Jack gets 2 as well. 2 of 2, both at that balcony. And Autobots, they're only on recovery, getting the revives up, and once more using the vending machine. Johan gets the revive. Thankfully, he did also put down Troll. Jack on the other end, still holding his own. SA2L, they don't have a lot to lose today because they are starting off. This is just game number 2. Autobots on the other end have a lot. Their race to the top 6 is already under difficulty. They also need around 100 plus points. With the M1917 Prodigy trying his best and puts down Bunny with the help of Johan. And Autobots slowly recovering in this battle, but it's still not done now. Jack, who just found multiple for himself, is still finding more, troubling Autobots, bringing them again to the last 2 legs. And Prodigy, he was quick. If he did not get that revive, it would have been very difficult. But Jack, he is the jackhammer against the Autobots.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of errors right here from Autobots, and if it wasn't for those revives, they could have been eliminated already. I mean, not blocking while you're healing, and even the angle that you're taking on this CQZ is still off. And power right now, the final player being revived, needs to recover a lot of those coins. And I believe, I'm no offense to Autobots right now, I think the loss of Kunal is taking a toll on them, but it's also how they're wasting those free fire coins in this battle, not really pulling away to regroup before they engage, and they're just thinking that they can manage it even on those drops.
Drops, very crucial here in Kalahari. This is why I said everybody sees everybody. It's not easy to hide here. Everybody spots players one after another. And MAQNA, they're also finding one. Titan Esports Club, they get some. HOTSHOT, Trouble still keeps striking Aurora after the recovery from confinement. Now they are looking good. Azrael gets Leo out. Sajid, he was close to him. They wanted to play together, but now he's caught off. His teammates not close by action. He's holding off at the angle, wants a flank for himself on the AC-80 he has, but Azrael, he spotted him. And Azrael, he's going closer. He should have an opportunity. Zuair's on the other end, making a rush towards Sajid. But Sajid, what a hit coming in. He holds off against the Aurora push, but actions he cannot. The numbers are more against him, and he will be taken down. So it's just an exchange. But HOTSHOT, they have to understand if they end up losing their players, it's going to be trouble for them. Sajid, he is surviving, but he survived only by 1 player. If he gets taken down, it's done for. He's put a mine. That's smart. Nobody should enter. If they enter, it could be trouble. But Riptide Rhythm, its defenses destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, Axel even spotted the mine. They're not falling for the trap. But I'm really loving that movement coming from Sajid because he kept his distance, making sure that he got a clear view of the opponent, who is Wes. And the moment the Valiant Dash hit, he only sidestepped, and the glue wall was broken, but he managed to swing and shoot him down. If they have more numbers, they could have won that fight against Aurora Esports. But now we are seeing Extreme X being eliminated as well. So that's 2 down already out of the 12 teams starting this fight, but there's still hope for some, or probably risk of relegation for a couple, which is SAUL as well as AUTOBOTZ, who's only left with 1 player each.
SAUL and AUTOBOTZ, 2 Indian squads. AUTOBOTZ on the other end, they are the ones who have to do something out of the gate, especially like how MAQNA have done. They've completely been out of the book, forget of the gate. They've made a run outside to a compound or a complete different environment today, and it's working out. 9 eliminations already in this game. And Straw Hats trying to follow the same suit, Neptune. They've also looked better in this game. They need points. They've gotten 6 of it, and right in front of them is going to be MAQNA, another team from Group C. It's going to be tough for Straw Hats because in terms of recovery, they have a lot going in their direction that they have to pick on, but they're taking fights in all directions and they are playing outside the zone. A tad bit risky to play this out.
Yeah, I do agree. It's more of that focus that they need to bring into the table. But let's take a peek of some of the instant replay that we have. And this is a 3-way battle that we have in this area. We're in Extreme X. No, this is where BIGETRON managed to escape, and Extreme X managed to take a 1-up against REVENANT XSPARK. And that's them trying to recover. But it's a good thing that they managed to revive their teammates. It slowed down their elimination at some point, and REVENANT XSPARK, they're just finding that final circle. We're very close to getting, or halfway through, I would say, because it's second going to the 3rd phase, and the zone is closing in. But speaking of closing in, there goes total winners being put to a close in this game with 0 points, and that is Aurora Gaming bringing the aura in this fight.
Yeah, Aurora Gaming, they already wanted to do in the previous game. Jun makes a jump but did not see where Anas was, and that was a quick grab coming in from his end. But Jun's pick was taken away, stolen from MAQNA. What a play. And MAQNA, they're not stopping. Now they hit upon Virus, and Virus also gets hit. But Aurora, as soon as they know where MAQNA are striking from, they make an instant run, put Durain down, and that is an elimination. But Aurora, it's not yet stopped. MAQNA still keeps surprising. Now it's going to be Vinzi, and they're trying to predict where is this happening now. Jans, he's closed the distance. He's made a jump into the tower, and that watchtower is getting a lot more crowded. Glue walls across the board. Jans has to patch himself, but this is giving time. And the Axel, he will bring back opportunities for Aurora.
Bro, I mean, the trade-off being brought in by both Wincy as well as the Axel, the snipers from these 2 Malaysian squad. And like the battle's happening in one small compound, but the elimination is coming from those snipes. And we know how important those snipes are, especially in this map. But Kalahari and the Axel finally spotted. It's no one from that initial engagement, and another will be introduced. It's becoming to be Chaos with a K, similar to Kalahari.
This is Unchained Chaos coming in, and we're loving this action. Titan Esports Club as well. Now they're trying to take a hit. They're confirming, and that's going to be on Straw Hats. They're in trouble. Aurora wanted to take an advantage on it, but they cannot, and now that's revealed their position. If this continues, that is going to be trouble for Aurora, but they did manage to get a revive, so they still have a lifeboat for themselves that'll work. However, Titan Esports Club, they have nothing to be worried about. They have a complete compound in control for themselves, and they will hold it for as long as they want. It all depends on the circle as well, but look at Aurora. Oh no, the Axel, he just gets picked off in mid-air. MAQNA, they get their revive now, but Axel, I think he can be brought back to life, and that's what Duez is also trying to do. But Tutush, he spots Azriel, who was making a help here, and that's the reason Duez tried to hold himself back. Did not work out. That's big hit coming through this sniper game that we are seeing, and now look at this call being given. TEC, they want to make a run right now. Blade trying to get close with a hook gun, but gets spotted. Unfortunate. Zuez finally puts a hit towards TEC to stall them.
And that's one thing, I mean, they are just too adamant in getting on those confirmation, but they were caught off guard. Didn't expect the pickup will be done that quickly, and that's helped with the Tiva that on the passive skill being brought in by Aurora. But will they be able to recover after this fight. A revive has been done for the team, so that's a good story for them. But look at the number of teams. Even if you survive this, try to force yourself against an opponent. Those snipers, out of nowhere, out of everyone in this map, might be taking you down. But AG Global against TEC, this might be a good chance for them to recover from that battle that we lost earlier. And damage from the ice grenade being brought in. Nejad on the ground, as well as a Riptide Rhythm out of nowhere. But that didn't stop that pickup against Nejad. And Blade will be taking out F590. Nameless, putting a name on the board and eliminating Titans Esports Club.
AG Global trying to get back to their winning ways, get their booyah. 9 eliminations. Titan Esports Club were holding that as a stronghold, a fortress. Nobody were allowed inside, and now it is going to be AG Global who get complete control of it. But MAQNA, they're close by. We've seen MAQNA what they've been doing. They've been picking players off, annoying them, and once again they've tried to get closer. If they convert a battle once more, and it today looks like these Malaysian players have woken up in vengeance. They want to make sure that every other team suffers. Take them out. Yesterday we were talking that they are missing out. They're not getting points. Something is not working out. And today they're making other teams work for these points. They're the ones who are running away with it. But their trouble will not stop. The team who took their booyah away from the previous game, they're right behind them. That's going to be REVENANT XSPARK. And REVENANT XSPARK spot a player from AG Global. Instantly knock him. Not yet a confirmation. Not much for AG Global to be worried. But AUTOBOTZ. Cypher. Oh, what a shot! And he gets the knock. Confirmation is what he wanted, but they will be able to recover now. AG Global, they have to be worried. There's a push already coming in. That's going to be MAQNA.
Bro, my head is hurting right now with the number of teams that we have in the same area. And I'm really sure from what you mentioned that Malaysia is really back for blood. It's a V for vengeance, V for vendetta. And you can see how MAQNA Esports is slowly building their momentum towards AG Global right now. And even though lost one of the players for AG Global, that would make it tough to go against REVENANT XSPARK at this point. But Ice Grenade pushed them out. Barros cooking that nade will be cooked well enough. And that bounce! And that hit Vincent! What a god nade coming from the guy! But a good thing the pickup has been done, plus a time turner, but the battle might be over. Barros being shot at, but M79 makes that hit, and AG Global has lost another player and doesn't push REVENANT XSPARK off this board.
There was only a clash where AG Global were able to get one pick off, where they've lost two of their players. Sci-Fi and Nameless now make a jump. They're on top of REVENANT XSPARK. Damage on Arsene, so on board down, but Kunal, he saves the day. AG Global are out. What a hit here in Kalahari. This Bayfront is bail-it right now and not allowing anybody's chances looking better. But REVENANT XSPARK keeping this morale high. 10 eliminations. And now, after they've got the compound control, they're getting closer to another battle. On the other end, HOTSHOT, they're picking players from SATUL and they're getting that Group C action for eliminations high on their tide.
Let's see though, I mean there's a lot of engagement happening right now, and it has been, or earlier, now it has been put to a pause. It's the 5th going to the 6th phase of the circle, and we still have 6 teams remaining at this point. The only saving grace for everyone is they have a lot of compounds to work with. A god nade didn't hit that window. You might have seen another highlights on a grenade, but as we look into Aurora Gaming, they're slowly losing aura right now. But the great thing that Azriel managed to save Zuez, but the zone will be eating them up. Hopefully they can go for the pickup, but it's Straw Hats stopping them to move in onto the next phase of the circle, move in with the zone. But it's not only that, even MAQNA Esports is dipping their feet in this fight, and might be Straw Hats on Aurora Gaming will be losing if they don't move fast. But Kunal, another god nade, and finally he managed to make it shoot, and he gets 3 points out of that.
Whoa! Kunal, he is God mode unchained. Puts an end completely to AUTOBOTZ. He is another beast who's unchained here on Kalahari. Something else going on. Bringing back the South Asia Plains. Booyah is what is going in his veins. Deep looking forward to this victory once again. 5 eliminations in his name, and Revenant XSPARK have total 14 now. Straw Hats, who are already in trouble because the zone's closing in, and MAQNA are also on the other end. Jack, who wants to make a hit using the chrono. Now MAQNA make a run. They've already spotted Jack. They want to take him down, but Jack is not all alone. His teammates are on the floor above. So MAQNA, they've stepped out, and they should be a tad bit worried, but they destroy the clue walls, and they're trying to destroy the spirit of Straw Hats to try and make this work, but also tandemly making SATUL put their works for this game. MAQNA get another elimination crown for themselves. Looking forward to more, but all the zone moving towards Revenant XSPARK. They're feeling confident here for a booyah, and Kunal once again bags. Straw Hats out, and now Sohan making a jump. Drian, he's put down. Yans is out. MAQNA in trouble. Virus is the last one standing, and Revenant XSPARK have looked way better in Kalahari and look unstoppable.
Yep, definitely looks like they are unstoppable, and with 3 man strong and also 1 player from each squad to deal with, I believe they will be looking for another booyah with God Nades, God Hands from Kunal. I was expecting him to use that earlier as he spots another team of MAQNA Esports, but it might be that he has lost all those nades and couldn't pull it off. But as a final shift happens, there goes Kunal for another takedown against Roll, and Virus managed to take shots, so information will be relayed. Kunal going for the hook and play, and he used that stealth bias to will be able to go into one corner, not even outside. But Revenant XSPARK from the backstab by Zohan gets a back-to-back booyah.
Back to back from Revenant XSPARK, and boo-hoo for the other teams, because these guys have woken up and they are unchained. Everybody else is having, plain and simple as you could say it, a bad day, but these guys having the best of it here on main event day 2. What a showdown this is. Unbelievable stuff. Oh my god. And if I see that the MVP, when we go after the standings, if anybody else other than Kunal, I lose my mind. It has to be him in this game.
Yeah, we're going to quit. We're going to quit this game if Kunal's not the MVP. But no, I mean, I believe he has put a lot of elimination in there. And even if he does, again, we're just joking, I won't be quitting. But if that's Kunal who's the MVP, I'm pretty sure the numbers, the damage would be giving more to him. But I'm really loving the rotation coming from Revenant XSPARK. They really don't have to do so much into rotation. And there was one moment where in AG Global could have taken them down as they wait on the lower floor. The recovery was just too quick for the squad. And this is just a showing on how well they practiced after a previous season. And another bomber coming from Revenant XSPARK. 33 in the points, but this is another congratulations for MAQNA Esports because they're slowly building the numbers away from the bottom 6.
Yeah, I think this is just a hats-off performance coming in from MAQNA Esports, while Revenant XSPARK take the limelight, everything, the spotlight, throw a complete floodlight at them. MAQNA have done a bit of credit that they have to take away. Their performance yesterday was completely unforeseen. It was a little bit of a disappointment for a lot of us to just watch, but today they've said whatever happened yesterday was just the past. This is us, this is the present. We are going to make a mark. But yes, their race is still a little far ahead. AURORA as well, these Malaysian squads now coming up, rising up the ranks, 18 total points. SATUL having a better game here, and we saw again, like Kunal, it was Jack's doing in the very beginning, just putting AUTOBOTZ one after another down. And with that, let's see where the overall standings look at. AURORA Gaming are looking at 37, AUTOBOTZ still in trouble, but MAQNA slowly rising up. They barely had points, and now they're already at 82 points. I really like that number that I'm seeing at their end, and if this continues, they're going to make a run. But the biggest run that one team has done is Revenant XSPARK, who jumped to the second spot.
Yeah, let me break it down. So MAQNA Esports, they started off 11 plays, and they moved up one rank onto the first game, and then 2 ranks after game number 2. But for Revenant XSPARK, from the 5th place, they managed to get to the 4th place after the earlier booyah, and now in the 2nd place after a massive Kalahari. And I won't be surprised if they will be taking the lead right now. By the end of the day, well, I there's not so much that RQ can do because they're not playing for today. So it's easy enough that REVENANT XSPARK can reduce that gap, if not increase the gap against Group B by the end of this day.
Yeah. I agree. I think REVENANT XSPARK, if they keep this play on, just like what we ended up seeing from RRQ Kajru, they might be able to do it. 100 plus points for themselves. And looking at what just unfolded, it has to be. And there it is. None of us are quitting, guys. It's not happening. No rage quits. It is Kunal who will be the MVP. 8 eliminations. I thought there's going to be a lot more damage from his end, but still 3,738 plus 5 assists. And now we know why once more that Kunal was doing this. You already mentioned this, Neptune. The A124 in combination with the Beastion and Alvaro already doing the damage. And we saw in this game especially of how much the nade troubled Autobots and many other teams. But on top of it, why AG Global, in case they wanted to activate their skills, it did not work out. It was the thrill of battle that Kunal was feeling.
Yeah, definitely thrill battle, and I believe that's also one reason why they managed to win that fight against AG Global. Though we didn't see it specifically, but it's more of how they put up the defenses and make sure that no active skill is being used against them on that final moment. But similar to what we've seen, I believe it's similar to what we've seen earlier. There's not so much, but if this works, then why change it? And this is just showing the intention of the team. They want to show sheer dominance, sheer aggression, but still they are bringing in a little bit of safety to their side with that Chronos time turner. And one surprise thing though is they're not bringing in the Olivia. It's only the Diva that is a signature of a support right here out of the team. So it's more of pure aggression that REVENANT XSPARK is planning to bring to the table.
And this is something I'm not sure who I was talking to, Neptune. They were telling that REVENANT XSPARK and especially Ursh, Vincent, they needed a ideal full-on aggression. We know X-Divine, we've seen, and under X-Divine's command also, REVENANT XSPARK were always qualifying, getting to the main event and Grand. But Kunal has brought in a lot more aggression to this squad, and it is very viewable. South Asia playing start, everybody was doubting, but now undoubted stand these lads. Sohan having same amount of damage that we end up seeing from Kunal, 3,609 eliminations, him as well on that position. Ursh also finding 3,032. Surprise is Vincent did not have a complete big game. It had to be Sniper's Nest, but I think the way REVENANT XSPARK were playing here, there was never a long-range battle. It was always the CQC coming through, and that is why REVENANT XSPARK got this booyah, and that is why the damage is spread around.
Yeah, well, let's see though. Speaking of spread around, teams really were spread around on those drops. There's only one, it's only Council Hall and Confinement that saw a lot of teams. But the moment that we see the zone closes in, and even in the Horizon, even at Flyby, we saw a lot of teams staying behind from Bayfront. There's just plenty of compounds to work with within that area. That saved most of the teams in, I would say, a little bit longer once they are before they were pushed out of the safety of those compounds by the zone, by the lightning zones, as well as the rushes that's coming from the team. But as you look at the right side of our circle analysis, elimination is just not going one way. There's a lot of teams who manage to rack up all those elimination, and I won't be surprised with this number of points being brought in by these teams. Our threshold, our cutoff has increased already from 139. I think it's around the 150 mark already.
That's why at the very start when we saw that graphic, like comparing with the South Asia planes, it was 169, it went shot up to 177, and I knew you have to add an additional 10. That's how teams are playing. But this, I think of all the main event games that we've seen, and even some of the South Asia plane games, this was too heated, Neptune. This was uncontrolled. We were just jumping one after another, and we didn't know where it was going, but unbelievable stuff being pulled off from every team. Unbelievable play coming in from REVENANT XSPARK. I don't know where we are tending. If Kalahari was like this, next we are going to Solara. Solara is smaller. It will force these teams to fight like this, and if this is what we have on day 2, I don't know where, as you mentioned, the qualification will stand at.
Oh, well, let's see though. I mean, I sure hope this happened, because with the hype that we had in Kalahari, I don't want to slow down. I don't want to reduce energy for no engagement at all. We want engagement to happen from the drop. So we have 4 teams whose eyeing and dropping into TV Tower, as well as we have 3 that would be heading into Echo Drain. So I really love that they're going for the edges right now. But similar to what we've seen earlier, Windmill, Safety being taken by TEC. Hopefully this is a good way for them to rack up in numbers as well as try to catch up. But you know for a fact that some teams want to disrupt Safety. It happened in Purgatory. It might happen once again in Solara. And similar, I'm just looking at similarities. Similar to Kalahari, we have those slide rails that will be replacing the hook guns, so the movement, the mobility of the teams is just as quick.
Just being quick in terms of predictions is also us looking forward to what we have going to be unfolding. That was just mayhem. I'm still a little in brain fog, if you want to call it, after what just happened. But yes, let's jump into Solara to see what will unfold, keeping the momentum high. I've gone in for AG Global. Now I've gone in for all the Southeast Asian teams. They've been, yes, trying to make a hit, but South Asian teams are taking it all away. I have Titan Esports Club as well, one of the South Asian teams. Then BIGETRON by Vitality, and I can see we both have same name as AG Global, but then you've gone in for the South Asian teams. That's going to be SATUL as well as Extreme X, and all 3 teams from Group A. And if we are on a high track for all Group A teams, I think it's time to pull your socks up for the teams from Group C.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going for SATUL right now because out of this map, they just managed to push up their name on the leaderboard when it comes to elimination. Not so much a placement mode though, so that's one risk that they are involved when SATUL is in there. But Extreme X also managed to get 1 booyah in here, so let's see if this is where they're going to bring it up. But I want to see this battle into start in Solara right now, because after what happened, I'm still in the daze, but this is a good daze, I would say, that we want to continue on to game number 3.
We indeed want to continue this, and it seems like just like what we saw around the TV Tower, Casa Vista and Eco Drain, that there could be a lot of teams, around at least 10 out of the lot 12 that we saw could be clashing it out. But before that happens, it seems like 3 teams are down at Aquarium. That's going to be AG Global, Straw Hats, as well as Titan Esports Club and Extreme X. One of them is dwindling around it. This looks already like a breakout for these teams right from the beginning. Straw Hats going to the very center of Aquarium, trying to be safe and sound, but right outside is AG Global waiting for them. So Straw Hats from Group C, this is the halfway mark for them. We said 12 games. This is their game number 9, so they better be ready for it.
Well, let's see, though. I mean, this is a signature drop off AG Global when it comes to Solara, and Straw Hats has managed to pull a lot of points in this game as well, but not so much that they can avoid battling against AG Global. But one thing's for sure, though, with Who getting information already, and I don't think Who has been spotted. The moment they jump, they will be get shot at. But the unfortunate thing for Who is he's dealing with 2, and there goes Straw Hats right now down the drain in Aquarium with only 1 player remaining.
Somehow that player is still trying to make a hit, but will try to survive. On the other end, it seems like Titan Esports Club, they make a run, and they've always been the troublemakers for AG Global. 2 of the players are already down. Baros is trying to hold it off, but for how long? The Chrono will not protect him. He tries to make a run. Finally, Nameless helps him out with the Max Swag 7. Founds 1 player. Blade, he is down, yes, for the count, but the revive has already happened. Rahat, on the other end, he also gets put upon. Titan Esports Club are being hit one after another, but finally Nejad puts an end to AG Global. The challenge in their own drop spot, and AG Global, it was only the fight with Straw Hats that worked out. The game for AG Global here is done and dusted, but the game for Titan Esports Club might still be under question, as REVENANT XSPARK, they've taken a dip here around in Aquarium.
Yeah, you did mention about challenge, and here comes a new challenger. REVENANT XSPARK right now just inserted a coin, and they might be beating down on TEC. It's not looking good for TEC because they do have REVENANT XSPARK have momentum, and this flyby, it might look as if they're swimming, but for those who haven't seen the insides of Aquarium, they are in a good spot to go for the battle. And a valiant dash with a Drogon takes down Rahat. And Harsh right now is still on the roll to go make that rotation. It's a good thing that one player from TEC has managed to squeeze himself away from that engagement. But who's waiting for them is SAUL and Aquarium. It's not only filled with water right now, it's filled with teams in elimination.
It seems like Aquarium right now has a notification that there's a great white shark and everybody wants to take a look at it. Buying tickets, everybody is making a jump. AG Global is down, Titan Esports Club are in trouble, and now REVENANT XSPARK, who are the ones to hold it off. Ursh again holding, the chrono being used. Bunny, can he hold off? Already Prince is down for the count. Quick revive, Jack is here. I think Ursh will not be able to hold himself off. And finally, REVENANT XSPARK will also be forced, but they're still there. They're holding inside, as you mentioned, under the waters they are right as of now in the Aquarium, trying to take the view in control. But SATL, they're still worried because we already spoke. Everybody's buying a ticket here, and now Extreme X to Sin puts Jack down for the count. Quick revive is what SATL Esports do, but SATL, what is their thought? Do they actually take the slide rails and move away? And it seems like that is the intention. Prince already calling Bunny and Extreme X. While they'll be able to spot them out, I don't think there is a chance for engagement. How was this very early fight that unfolded, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, this is anarchy in Aquarium. And if it wasn't for that slowdown, REVENANT XSPARK could have been taken out early as well. Even TEC was like, we were thinking that they might get or capitalize more out of that engagement. It was just unfortunate that they got taken down. But they pull away from the area. They move in Casavista, and SAUL might be able to go back and regroup with the full man squad. But on the other side, Kyung and Dix connected with the basic therapy and try to go with grenade gameplay. But Kyung will be taken down as well together with Dix. And that's total winners with 3 men strong, but not so much of an aggressive approach. But Bank right now, both going in for an exit strategy. One on the launch pad, one in the vehicle, and they're going in a different direction. Great distraction, but will this work for BTR?
Oh, on the other end, trying to make it work is Ursh. She was all alone. Bunny will put him down, but Bunny is not safe and sound. He'll get the confirmation. Extreme X are on the trail right behind him, and he's got an idea about it. There's a slide rail, he can take it and rejoin with his teammates. And on the other end, Jack, he's being hit upon. SATL Esports, they're not together, and AUTOBOTZ trying to take a hit on this. It seems like the South Asian teams today here on day 2 are on a rampage, looking unstoppable. The Southeast Asian teams are unable to get a hold of it. It was just game number 1 where they got eliminations, but after that, they're unable to get a footing. SATL's Bunny, he tried his best, went in for the 1v1 challenge, but it did not work out. Flicker, he's been exceptional throughout from the play-ins and now in the main event as well. He's been the core for Extreme X and now again delivers, and this seems to be a tad bit of a big game for Extreme X. 7 eliminations in total.
Well, let's see, if Bunny just hopped from that push, he might have survived. But another team will be eliminated. It's total winners, so we're down to 9 teams. And we're only in the first 6 minutes of this game. We often happen to see this kind of dwindle in terms of team numbers towards what, the 8-minute mark, 9-minute, like close to even 10-minute. There's a lot of happening as well in South Asia play-ins. We're close to the final circle, and we still have 10 or 11 teams surviving. So this is the teams moving fast. But Tuzin goes in for a shot. Great placement on the glue wall. Even a Valiant Dash doesn't break it down, but Prodigy right now not recovering that much. And Tuzin goes for the jump. This is what I'm talking about. This is what Bunny should have done earlier, but enough of that. The Extreme X is still on the roll. They're looking for some of the Autobots right now to break them down.
Autobots, they have 6 eliminations. This is game number 3 or game number 9, and they need a lot of points today. They are from Group C. They're trying their best, but what can they do? Extreme X, they've already taken 1 player out of their count. Vending machine they have in control, so the revive is going to be there. Not much to be worried about. Prodigy is already seen at the end of the horizon, but Flicker, looking at how good he's seen as well, they've now surrounded Autobots, and I think they will wait. You already spoke about it. This is a very early game. Playzone is just now closing in, so Extreme X will hold this position. They are comfortable. But the challenge that Autobots have in front of them is not just about winning this fight, it's trying to win in this game. If they don't get points, they have to worry about it. But one thing for sure has happened, Neptune, is the tempo of FFMAI has ramped up because of Kalahari. It just looks unstoppable. I don't think even this silence that we are seeing, the teams are trying to understand each other, is instantly going to whiplash.
Yeah, well, let's see now. I mean, this is just them, the teams, giving us a little bit of breathing time, because we've been hyping, we've been shouting with back-to-back engagement from Kalahari to the beginning of this Solara. And I do understand they are also seeing the how fast the teams are being eliminated in this game, and they want to try to change the pace, try to remove the momentum of those aggressive teams. And Flicker right now being taken down. It's not even Autobots that dealt with them. It's Aurora Gaming. Now let's see if Aurora can push through in this fight, because Tucson is still on point with AC-80. Might be able to spot out Azrael, but here comes Autobots taking down St. John. And Mad God, despite of being on the ground, has a good chance to be picked up. Tucson will try to get close, and Power will be taken down. Movement, that swing, and that mobility coming from Tucson might save Extreme X.
And I think he's a lot more to answer for. He's trying to just find another angle, and here's a lot of footsteps. That's going to be Aurora as a full team trying to run up. Rusty on the other end, he's already made a run. He doesn't want to be here. Revive is what he'll be concentrating on. But Tessine, looking at his aggression, he's been incredible. But Johan, what does he do? He's all alone here. Thankfully, the revive was done. So Autobots, this battle is okay, 50-50. If it works, it works. But Tessine is still making it work. One more elimination is named before he goes down for the count, as Aurora will make a run. Finally, Tessine put to rest. He looked like something else. He was just one after another hammering players to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, he's the support of the team. The active skill is a Cassie. So if he had a Valiant Nash, he might have gotten away from Aurora Gaming, but it doesn't matter. The rest of the squad of Extreme X managed to revive him, so they are back in play. Regroup, wait for another moment, and let's see on how that's going to work. But for BTR, earlier they were in risk of being eliminated, and now they managed to regroup. Though outside the zone, they might be able to see some of the teams who are in here who will be in trouble. And one of those is Straw Hats right now. Not 3 players, but the airdrop is readily available for them for the looting. This makes BIGETRON by Vitality a little bit more deadly, and they release that UAV. It will spot out Shocked, and I'm not sure if he will be shocked out here, but with a launch pad, that will give an angle for Dix for the takedown.
Zebang is already all gone in the flank, using the more stealth by, gets closer. There is no chance here for him to run away, and Shocked will be finally taken down. That's another elimination. 7 for BIGETRON by Vitality. But on the feed, we also saw that the fight that Aurora started with Extreme X seems like they're finding more. They confirmed 2 more eliminations in their name. And Extreme X, they've been forced to revive their players. Autobots on the other end, Prodigy mid-air did get pick off, but thankfully no other opponents for question. And they will be able to quickly revive, but the Nero Plushie, the Cryo Mine being used, will reveal their position. I think that came from MAQNA. So MAQNA have an idea where they are. However, MAQNA in this game has still not started. 4 eliminations only, and it seems like now they're prepping up for the battle.
Well, let's see now. I mean, they don't have that much of cover other than the tower that they're holding right now and a couple of monster truck. But from behind, BIGETRON by Vitality. But off camera, we're also seeing elimination coming out from Extreme X, dealing with Aurora Gaming. Now, that's 1 download right from Aurora Gaming, reducing the chances of them getting the booyah, but there's still, I believe there's still plenty of space for them to work with. Lightning Zone against MAQNA Esports, and this is the problem now. If you're on the high ground, not so much of cover and compound to work with, there's a bolt maker that can be used against you, and I believe that's BTR who managed to pull it off.
And they're making a jump. They're using the launch pad, trying to get closer. But Yangs, he was ready. Puts Keong down. And that is trouble for BIGETRON by Vitality. They want to recover the player. They tried, get the revive up. But for how long? Damage is being done. HP is down. Koja! He gets taken down in the car 98. Keong, his HP is also drained. Diggs right now covered by glue walls. But for how long? HOTSHOT in the meanwhile with the flash freeze. They get a knock on the Keong. And now want to confirm MAQNA were not ready for this. They get surprised. 2 of the players now getting down. Yan's trying to make a Vix. Drian is well holding holding it off, and HOTSHOT in trouble. Actions trying to run across. Sibeng in the meantime gets the revive. HOTSHOT understand that this is a complete different one that they start the pick off on. Winzy now trying to get hit up on the damage, and there it is. HOTSHOT is on us. He gets the pick. The dragon breath coming in from the FGL, troubling right now MAQNA. Jans is now back up on his feet, and they do not lose any players. How did MAQNA hold their players off? And now Virus, he turns things around. HOTSHOT in big trouble. Nate's being tossed. Jans will get the confirmation, and BIGETRON by Vitality. It seems like they've not left this fight. They continue it. Winzy, he's the one to be knocked. Kyong goes down. Koja instantly puts the chrono up, but two of the players from MAQNA are here. Koja has to do something brilliant. Virus, he doesn't have the close range weapon. He's playing as the sniper. Drian, he has to help out. He has to be quicker. Koja, he gets with the Mac 10. Now Drian goes in for the revive. Same as Koja doing, and both players, it's a 2v2 situation.
Well, let's see though, MAQNA Esports are the one losing and not so much of revival, and the zone will be beating them up. It's a 2v1 situation, but Rian will be taking Koja down. Sibeng, the only player who might be able to deal with him, and this might be it. Rian will be taken down. Give that opportunity to Sibeng, and there goes the shot with a VSK. But it's just unfortunate. He's going all alone, but still, he needs to get some of those covers in this final circle as he uses that vehicle, but the battle is not yet over for some of the teams, and AUTOBOTZ being chased by REVENANT XSPARK, but finally AURORA dealt the final nail in the coffin against BTR, and we are left with only a few
teams, but the fight is getting engaged in a manner that we cannot fathom. REVENANT XSPARK, they're losing players. It's down to Vincent and Kunal. Prodigy trying to hold it off. For how long can he? It's the Riptide Rhythm, and in this team, the silence coming through. REVENANT XSPARK trying to go in for a revive. The zone's closing in. They're getting damaged. Vincent cannot play it for long. Prodigy has better HP. He'll be able to hold. Monster Truck also available. Bolt Maker being called. AUTOBOTZ, confirmations coming through, but REVENANT XSPARK end up losing their players. It's only Vincent who survives, but he'll also get picked off. It is done. REVENANT XSPARK get eliminated, and same goes. That is going to be an end for AUTOBOTZ, and down to the last three teams playing outside the zone. They just get damaged and done for.
And finally, SAUL finding themselves in the final circle. Hopefully they survive with a full squad. And still, aggression coming from AURORA Esports, AURORA Gaming right now, as they spread around, try to go in for the shift. But that Bolt Maker, that Lightning Zone is making it difficult for them to do so. And SAUL just keeping their distance, making sure that they will not be gunned down by AURORA Gaming on the CQC. Jack, though, a little too close. No backup just yet. And Troll, I don't know how that happened with a Max 7. Troll eliminated himself, but I believe that's with the Lightning Zone. Azrael almost being taken down, and Jack with M590 goes for another one. But AURORA Gaming, the aura of survivability is still on them.
It is, but Axel, he is down for the count. Azrael trying to go in quickly for the revive, but the flash freeze is chipping on health. Azrael is there, but it's going to be enough. Yes, he quickly gets the revive. Zuez is also here, but Troll finds once again, and that is out. HOTSHOT done at #3. Now this is an opportunity. SATL Esports, Azrael is also down, and with that, they will put an end to Zuez and get this booyah. SATL Esports, what a hit that they get on, and they confirm a booyah, and what a play. The South Asian teams on day 2 are unbelievable, unstoppable, and unchained.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, great move coming from SAUL right now, especially with start off that Purgative with only 2 points. They managed to get a few more out of Kalahari with a total of 18 points with 10 elimination, and now they equalize it with 12 and 12 on Solara. But REVENANT XSPARK is still on a good run, and I don't think they can be taken down early in this battle. That's 3 matches for today, and that's the final 3 matches, or final 3 matches later on, and they might be in a good spot right now. They could, I would say, I don't know, it might be early to say, but they can sleep out the 3 games, and they might still make it to the top 12. But we've seen how well some of the teams really rack up the points, make those rotations, and make it more troublesome for most of them to survive. when we began our journey in Solara in Aquarium, a lot of teams has been taken down already, so it makes it difficult for most of them to go for recovery, and it's still good thing that some of those managed to recover. One of those, a few contenders in Aquarium was SAUL Esports, but they were smarter. They pull away in the perfect timing, not to be stuck within Aquarium.
Yeah, I think that was one of the wisest decisions that SATUL Esports did, moving away from Aquarium. And from there, they got an idea of where and how they have to traverse around. Yes, Revenant XSPARK, the challenge was continuously happening. They were able to still hold it off. They did put them down, get the eliminations. It's not high elimination spree for them, but it is good. What their fans wanted to see, what this new name for them, right, is now giving access to, and they will be super happy of what they've done. These were the young guns when we saw them, right, back from their Indian run in FFM circuit, and now they are looking so great. In the last run that they had, they didn't even make it out of the South Asia plains, and here, look at what they're doing. They're making a dent to everybody. 24 total points. Revenant XSPARK, so ever consistent, unquestionable. They are 18 points for them as well. Aurora, once they've started from game number 1, with that aura, they've been just moving. 18 points, same for them, but the teams at the bottom is something that I'm worried about. Total winner, All Gamers Global, Titan Esports, these 3 teams going out, that was just unbelievable, crazy to happen right at game number 3 in Solara.
Well, let's see. This is your little bunny, not really hopping, but still bringing in the numbers. 4 elimination, 22, 31 in damage, and 4 assists, wearing that Corona on a time turner. And we know for a fact that even he is tagged as a rusher, yes, he can rush, he can eliminate, but he's also suited up to be a support with Ativa, Nikita, and Joseph to make it easier for him to move fast, reload far back, but also pick up his teammates when needed. And look at the weapon, M590, still putting a number in our meta for this competition.
Yeah. I think by the end of the main event, M590 is going to be leaving some of those weapons so far behind. And imagine those stats were only of the main event, and it is already at 57,000 damage that we end up seeing. And by the end of our main event, that is tomorrow, it could be completely unstoppable. But Bunny, yes, of the previous 2 games, a little back and forth, but this game played brilliantly. And you have to give kudos to Prince as well. We spoke about it, that Aquarium situation, right? The timing, and I'm pretty sure we'll see in the circle analysis as well of their movement. Prince called it. It's time to back off. Let's go. They take the slide rail, start slowly back trailing in the direction they made, and it worked out. He had a Steffi, making sure that the throwables did not do the damage. And I think when we saw Solara, there was, yes, just like Kalahari, a lot of throwables, but this Steffi stopped that from coming through. And I think we've spoken about this. Steffi is not something that we've seen. More stealth bites, all of that very similar. Chrono is also something that we've seen, but Prince pulling this off for the squad is working.
Yeah, I mean, even from Final Battle earlier, we see a couple of, I think it's not here, but there was one instance where a couple of those painted refuge has been pulled out by both teams, and one of those is SAUL. And I keep saying this, that it's a good active skill to use as well, even on final circles, not just to avoid those throwables, but also to give your team a little bit of armor and reduce the damage being taken, especially if the Bolt Maker or the Lightning Zone is involved in those circles.
And when we talk about the circles, let's see the circle analysis. SATUL Esports, but before they made their way towards Aquarium, you saw they were at TV Tower, slowly ended up towards Aquarium. Yes, a lot of battles unfolded, but once they understood, hey, we are moving outside of the circle. TV Tower was empty, let's go back in that direction. A little bit of a clash that they had with Extreme X, and from there, as the circle was shifting, look at them, they were the very first movers towards Funfair. Once they had that control, they did not move at all. Barely you can see them. It's every other team, BIGETRON by Vitality making a run on different directions. Autobots, Revenant XSPARK, Aurora trying to make an entry, Extreme X as well. So much happening, but the SATUL squad in Funfair held their position. Circle moved away from them. They were behind the teams because every other team at that point wanted to get inside. That gave them the advantage. You mentioned, right, in that early 6 minutes, we ended up seeing 3 teams being eliminated. That is not something that is a regular spot or a seen sight in Solara. And on the other end, once we started coming towards the last few zones, there were just too many teams, 7-8 teams, and they did not have much in the circle, but SATUL had. They had the compound. It worked.
Yeah, I mean, it does work for them. Real happy that we're seeing a lot of showing, not only from one specific team, but also more of the teams. Now, and also there's a switch up of the South Asia play-in teams, as well as those who are invited, those who have their last leg, as well as those who are being introduced. So it's not just one team or one set of groups that's moving up their ranks right now, which is making it difficult, more difficult for some teams who's on a catch-up run. Straw Hats have managed to pull away a little bit out of that, but Autobots has been gunned down in most cases. So this might be a chance for them to really bring it on, because this is 3 more opportunities, only 3 left for them to be able to catch up in the numbers.
Yeah, Group C, yes, it's not the best that they've had. Some of the teams like Revenant, XSPARK, after getting a back-to-back booyah, they've been happy about it. But as you said, the catch-up, especially after 9 games done, you guys are seeing it's 3 games, and you might be wondering, for Group C, it's 9, 3 more games, 12 done, they're done. Their game days are over if they don't make it above the cutoff, which we already thought that it should be predicted to 139. I think at this point, as you said earlier, they should be thinking 150 around is what they have to get to qualify to do the main event, sorry, the grand finals. While the buffer has been increased from top 8 to top 12, the difficulty is also increased in the main event. The competition, you just saw what has happened in the game number 1, game number 2, game number 3. The tempo has just been rising. We've been sweating. I mean, I was calm and composed when we started, and this has just gone off to something else that I did not imagine. That is just mind-blowing by teams.
Yeah, exactly. And one team that's really blowing my mind right now, other than REVENANT XSPARK, is AURORA Gaming. Because looking like the average can bring them even higher despite of how low they're coming from in this mix. So I really love to see more of that. But we're going to bid goodnight to almost everyone, because we're going to introduce our second half right now. And it will be handled by both Grips and Arca. But it has been a pleasure to shout to the top of my lungs with these games that we've seen. It is just awesome out of the introduction of Group A, as well as the last leg for Group C. But again, it was an exciting game, but we have to say goodbye and good night for everyone. We're going to have a second half, so don't go away. We're going to go for a quick break. When we return, more of the battle continues, so don't go away.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Free Fire Max Asia Invitational 2026 summer. It is indeed a really hot day today, and it's not because it's summer outside, it's not because of global warming, it's because of the pressure that these teams are building up. I kind of feel like I'm in a pressure cooker right now. I feel the gas simmering from below, and I'm not even the one who's supposed to be in pressure. I'm out here enjoying these games, and yet I feel like I'm sweating, like quite literally. Like, you can see it glisten on my forehead. I can't even imagine the amount of pressure these teams would be in, especially teams of Group C, who have only 3 games to go. And generally, whenever a group ends a day before the other, whenever teams of Group C or whichever a particular unlucky assigned group is, who won't be playing the next day, they have to gather up enough points today itself and hope that nobody overtakes them tomorrow, and that hope can be very difficult to cling on to. For now, I'm going to be clinging on to you, my friend. Your name is Alka, my name is Crips. Sorry for introducing you this way, but we are going to be your casters for the rest of the day, and oh boy, it's been a phenomenal day already.
Yeah, absolutely. And good to see that teams like Revenant, XSPARK, they've been doing phenomenal. I was, predicting, I was manifesting that the Indian teams will be able to make a proper comeback. And eventually Revenant, XSPARK have given us the glimmer of hope. Before we speak further about the teams, we're going to be looking at the drop spots of the upcoming game of Bermuda. And luckily, we do not have any kind of a big cluster taking place. Apart from that of Mill, it seems like 3 teams are looking to grind each other.
Oof, grind each other to dust, you mean? So far, Revenant, XSPARK and SHUL have been doing really well. But if SHUL decides to contest peak against HOTSHOTs, well, then they could be the ones getting ground down to dust pretty quickly. That being said, though, Revenant XSPARK are relatively uncontested in Shipyard, but then again, how often have you actually seen them go to Shipyard? They generally like to split drop across Catalistwa, maybe send one of their players towards Observatory or Plantation, and it's generally a little different each time. So I am not fully convinced that these drop spots will be the ones the teams adhere to, especially in Mill, because you see that cluster of 3 teams over there.
Yeah,
there have been games where Mill was completely uncontested. We saw that just yesterday, and even I was bamboozled a little after seeing 3 teams, claiming that they will hot drop in Mill, but none of them actually went over there. So I have started to take this not just with a pinch of salt, but with like a heavy grain of salt, the heavy hand of it.
But again, if you see the southern side of the map, right, where we saw Marks Electric, we saw Pochinok, these are the places completely uncontested. There's no teams interested to go there. So I strongly feel like we're being deceived when we look at these drop locations, and probably we'll be able to see different teams taking a different route and making sure that they have a healthy start itself. Now, let's not forget that there are certain teams who have just come in today and leaving a very big mark, if you ask me, because we have got several teams, like you've got SHUL who have been doing recently good, because according to me, 44 points in 4 games is decent enough in a lobby like this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even more impressed by MAQNA Esports Club, because I had zero expectations from them coming into this tournament. I mean, their last few tournaments have been very lackluster for them. They never even made it into the upper half. In fact, they were struggling to get out of the bottom 3 in every single tournament that they participated in across the last year. So they've been consistently at the bottom. But today, I don't know, maybe they're woken up. Maybe they're like, yep, we've had enough. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to predict with sleeping giants rising up and waking up. The predictions will be a little topsy-turvy, so let's jump into them and see what they've, let's see what you've picked. I have picked SHUL and Revenant XSPARK simply because of the last 2 games. I am being extremely short-sighted over here, so my predictions are a little biased towards the recent form of these teams. And on top of that, I've picked AG Global because, I mean, they're a little evergreen. They get enough points regardless of whether they win the Booyah or not. So I am being extremely short-sighted here with my predictions.
I mean, after seeing Revenant XSPARK's previous performance where they kind of fumbled, I feel like somebody has broken their momentum. For that reason, I would like to bring in HOTSHOTs, who do have a lot of potential to show a very, very good game in the upcoming map. And the other 2, I'm just going to stick with your reasons as well, because they've been doing recently good. They've been doing decently good. SHUL as well. Slowly, I'm able to see that they are able to understand this game better than the rest of the teams. They're able to put some decent amount of points, but at the same time, once they get into that momentum, they always end up the day on a very high note, and that is where I see SHUL performing.
Yeah, SHUL have always been that kind of team that goes for those eliminations towards the end of the play day, and generally for them it takes some time to get used to the level of aggression in the lobby, so they need to figure out when to turn the aggression down, when to put the pressure on, and generally their priority of selecting the targets becomes a little more refined as the games go on. So I think we have seen them play enough. Now SHUL are getting a hang of the lobby, they're getting a hang of the day. I mean, yesterday we saw RRQ perform really well because of their target prioritization, and SHUL are starting to figure that out now. If they can follow in the same footsteps, then we might just see a team dominate completely. But for now, I want to put all speculations aside and get into some decapitation instead. Let's hop into the fourth game of the day, Bermuda.
Oh, Bermuda, it is the default map, and every single survivor watching the game right now knows this map in and out, and that's the reason why he might expect a lot from his teams. And guess what? We never saw this coming. Towards the shipyard region, we see the Wolves are going for a hunt. We have got SH over there. We have got EXE, a big cluster, if you ask me, happening towards the shipyard region.
I certainly did not expect this fight in Shipyard. I mean, Revenant XSPARK themselves don't drop here very often. But then to see Straw Hats drop over here against him, I love watching these container battles, but it's going to be super difficult to isolate gunfights. Sohan, targeted in the open, has to use the glue wall to get inside that warehouse, has to burn his time turner as well. And while Shocked is shooting at Sohan, Ursh tries to use that distraction to get the elimination onto him, but he only deals half damage, and Shocked instantly recovers it because of the electrotherapy.
Shocked, a very clever approach to this fight. He understands the topography well, and for that very reason, he's going to stick very close teammates who can actually heal him at times. Whereas on the other side, Revenant XSPARK, they've got that bird's eye view. Shocked in deep troubles right now. Shots being taken. Sohan, he's being led by Vincent. They both getting closer. Shocked in the open, very low on HP, but still survives yet again. Could he be taken down? Because Sohan as well as Harsh are way too close.
Yeah, luckily they're playing together, so the training potential is right there. And finally, after dealing him enough damage, after reducing his HP down to 50 so many times, they finally get the elimination onto Shocked. Ooh, look at that. A little bit of a surprise shoot from Nil. But he doesn't catch anybody off guard. Ursh barely takes any damage. It tickles him. And now that his position is revealed, he needs to run and get out of here. Nil in a lot of trouble. And another member of Straw Hats who is getting into another fight with Extreme X. So these guys are fighting two teams at once while they are so separate. There's basically no trading potential.
Absolutely, but Sohan puts another man down. We'll be getting that confirmation. Revenant XSPARK are looking for another healthy start in this game. And let's not forget that the troubles are not far away, because very close to them we did see that EXE were also in a fight. Autobots were also interested to come in and clash with Revenant XSPARK, or also looking for an opportunity. And all of this is happening somewhere around the shipyard region.
Yep, so Revenant XSPARK dispatch they dispatched Straw Hats away from the shipyard area, but Straw Hats were already busy fighting Extreme X, so I want to see what happens to Who. He was busy fighting Extreme X just a couple of seconds ago, but now Who has been taken down by Autobots, and Autobots in turn are getting third-partied by TEC. So this is turning out to be a much bigger fight than Straw Hats would have liked to get into. In fact, I see Who has already been finished off, he's already dead, and the rest of Straw Hats are nowhere close by, so they will abandon this battle against Autobots and let Prodigy handle his own demons, who's, by the way, getting pushed by both Blade and Kutush right now. Mad God tries to get the surprise pick onto Rahat, but instantly Blade comes close and gets the revenge.
Oh, this is where Autobots might get into trouble with lack of manpower. They need to be careful, because Johan is now showing his back power. He gets taken on. Johan, the last man standing in this vicinity, eventually will get taken down as well. Luckily, one of their players ran away from this position, but the deed is still not done, because BIGETRON have now come here for this fight.
Oh my goodness, this has just turned into a sixth-party situation. Teams just keep on boarding on top of each other. It's like an unending waterfall of bodies over here. They're just throwing at each other. Blade taken down. Goja and Deeks both inside that tiny cocoon. They're trying to go for the res. And all of BIGETRON just come alive. Nejat thought that it's a 1v1, but instead it's a 1v3. And now he has to back away from here. Look at him instantly scaling back. He goes ahead to heal, but Kutish tries to come in and continue the assault. Jumps right inside the time turner and jump shot onto Goja. Connects really well. Seabang from afar takes down Nejad. And even Kutish goes down. Keong just got saved by Seabang so hard. And BIGETRON might have just won this fight for now, but they cannot continue sustaining themselves against the relentless assault from SHUL. Wait up! Even HOTSHOTs are over here. Sajid shoots down Keong before anyone from SHUL have even a chance to look at him.
Oh, this is where BIGETRON might bite the dust, because if not for the solo player, when incognito to run away from this position, I don't think so. They would have had a good run. Nonetheless, we see that one team has already been eliminated. That's total winners who have been not having such a great day. They were at the very bottom of the overall standing, and they tend to stick there for now. Whereas BTR on the other side, being even more clever, he's been even more cautious, as it's got to be the solo player getting very close to that vending machine, and very soon we'll be seeing the whole team back in the game.
Yeah. While he goes ahead towards that vending machine in Shipyard, Katoliswa continues to be occupied by Titan Esports Cup. Oh god, look at Rahat's facial expression when he got shot by Aurora in the back. He had no idea that Aurora was even present over there. And this lack of information can be very costly. Meanwhile, just outside of the peak region, we've got Extreme X fighting off against Straw Hats. This battle became online a very long time ago. Who started fighting against Extreme X like at least 5 minutes ago? Right? I mean, right at the beginning of the game, when his team was in Shipyard fighting REVENANT XSPARK, that's when he started picking up a battle against Extreme X. Somehow it's still going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Koja in deep trouble. Shots being taken against him. Prince from the other side as well. Both of them put him down. BTR, for some reason, I've woken up on the wrong side of the bed for this map, especially SHUL on the other side, as they land and get rewarded with one elimination. What they look forward is for more people to get revived. They've still got Troll, who needs to make a comeback in this game. But let's not forget that the rest of the team have been unstoppable throughout the day. For now, we look at AGAL, who have been so close to REVENANT XSPARK, and hopefully Drew knows that the Wolves are not far away.
They can hear the howling, and the Wolves can smell the blood. They get closer, but Wolves have a surprise contender. Global. Prodigy lands the first shot. Dew continues to pump at Kunal down. Sohan finds himself trapped inside that arsenal. He goes for the res against Sohan, but it will be rather useless because Nameless has full HP, and he's jumping in there with a grenade launcher. REVENANT XSPARK go down in flames.
Oh, this is one of the reasons why I did not want them in my predictions for this game. For some reason, they start to have a widespread, and eventually once they see somebody getting closer, they became a little bit restless. But nonetheless, we see AGAL's Cypher, who gets taken down similarly to what his teammate did, but Farway Dew, who had that opportunity, will now revive all his teammates. Clock Tower, the clock starts to tick, and now teams need to get serious.
Yep, the clock is ticking. Mad God is clicking. He gets played, and another one in the pocket for AUTOBOTZ. These guys have been struggling to get a hang of the lobby, but once they get in there, oh boy, they start racking up those eliminations pretty quickly. And they see another pound of flesh over here. Cypher just around the corner. Oh, Johan got caught a little off guard. He didn't expect Cypher to be right there. He saw him land, but he thought Cypher will at least take some precautionary actions, but he has no time to do so. And look who's arrived to back him up. All of a sudden, AUTOBOTZ have gone down. It's just power left. They thought Cypher was alone. They thought he was alone and defenseless. They thought it's an easy pick. But then comes the rest of AG Global, dropping down from the skies and surprising the hell out of AUTOBOTZ.
12 eliminations, and the number speaks for itself. I really thought that Cypher was done over there, but eventually then later, by the time I understood, just like that of AUTOBOTZ, that he was just a distraction, the deed was already done. AUTOBOTZ for now will have to make sure that they play a little bit safer. But the sad news strikes as they get eliminated. That's the second team to walk out of the lobby.
Autobots bite the dust after getting 9 eliminations to their name. It's not that bad considering all things that they've been through. Could have been worse. But yeah, just when they were starting to feel hot, they get destroyed. And I kind of disagree with what you said over there. That was not a distraction. That was more like a bait. Because, my God, Autobots fell for that bait. Hook, line, and sinker. And now look at AG Global going out of their way, literally outside of the hangar region, out of the zone, to hunt down one single player. Do they need that 1 point? No, they don't. Did his opponents expect that there will be a team outside of the second zone this late in the game to hunt him specifically? Of course they did not. But will AG Global want that 1 extra point? Yeah, sure.
Every point matters, my friend, because things are looking way too close than we expect it to be. For now, the two big bulls are locking on, so it's got to be AGL versus TEC. Both these teams are very close in the overall standing as well, but AGL, who've got 13 eliminations, are looking to yet again converge from all different directions. As Blade gets in closer, Cypher yet again puts another man down, and there the confirmation comes as Dew from far away with a sniper still sings the songs of death.
Yep, and he's got a beautiful throat. He could be on The Voice. I mean, if he doesn't get arrested for murder first. Oh my God, look at that. Nameless. He needs to have a name for himself because, come on, you've got a name for the Grim Reaper. You've got a name for the Boogeyman. How can you get this guy and have no name? Like, he's the manifestation of death. And yet, he's humble enough to remain nameless. An anonymous slayer who probably will be cherished for ages by his fellow countrymen. And now his team is 16 eliminations strong. AG Global are taking over the globe.
Man, AG Global, we both predicted them. You know, sometimes people speak about Caster's curse, but this time I would say it's Caster's luck, which is just going towards their way. 16 eliminations in the first 3. And I'm not shocked. At the same time, I believe like they might set a new record here.
I'm not too sure about the new record, but I definitely am not shocked. Also, I don't think it's Caster's luck. Again, these guys are too good, bro. Like, if I take them in my predictions, that's just me being lazy. That's just me not taking any risks. And I've been playing it pretty safe with my Caster predictions lately. A risky pick would be MAQNA Esports Club because, yeah, they have been shaky, brother. They have been shakier than an earthquake. But in the last 2 games, they managed to get like 10-15 points in each. So it's not that bad, I guess. Maybe finally they can have a decent tournament. Maybe finally they can get out of the bottom. So I'm actually cheering them on. And as the circle continues to shift, you will start seeing the massive real estate shopping spree right now. MAQNA Esports Club have the double balcony house. HOTSHOT have the L-shaped house. SHUL have the 2 tiny wooden shacks towards the west of Peak to their name. And then in the center of the Peak itself, near the maze, there's nobody. Which is kind of surprising. I would have expected at least some teams to get over there. I thought BIGETRON might come over there, considering, you know, they are still somewhere outside the zone towards the northern side, and they might just come dropping in. But Straw Hats have occupied the square warehouse towards the bottom of Peak. SHUL, as you can see on the minimap right now, are also occupying 2 houses instead of 1. And oh my God, look at that massive shift. It goes right towards MAQNA Esports Club. All the spotlight on them. But here we have XtremeX versus BIGETRON.
XtremeX, Sejan, he's got to go for a dash, tries to put a player down, but the glue wall is just going to stop him for now, and he gets retaliated. It's got to be Koja getting in closer. Tucson puts them down. As long as this lad breathes, EXE have nothing to worry, but he gets taken down, and now Flicker in deep troubles. He needs to take down players. He needs to also revive his teammates. He goes towards Tucson, but from the other side, a third party approaches, and it's important for Tucson to make sure he takes advantage, and he eventually does get another pick out here. Koja, he's running away from this position. EXE needs to be careful as they get backstabbed. It's got to be Flicker. He also gets taken down, and eventually AURORA are doing really good for themselves.
AURORA picking up all the stragglers of XtremeX, eliminating them from the game. Even BIGETRON have been left on their last legs with just 1 player alive who's hiding in a... And I can't even say inside a tiny compound. He's hiding behind literally a tiny rock. So I'm surprised he's not been spotted just yet. But after clearing out this entire western periphery of the circle, AURORA must make their way into the zone, which is being guarded by MAQNA Esports Club. So they might just have to go in for an urban breach.
You love the urban circle is what I heard. So I believe that you're going to be a little bit disappointed by the way the circle is formed up in this game.
Yeah.
Now, Pete,
I am.
look at how SATUL are now flying in towards the same vicinity. Whereas on the other side, MAQNA, they're the clever ones. They know the bird hunting was going to reward them with much more points. But Blade on the other side, he gets taken down and he's going to be left bleeding as it's going to be a plushie which is being thrown towards them to do more damage. Rahat, he gets behind the tree for now as Virus and his teammates are peppering down bullets as much as possible.
Oh, look at that. Somehow still holding on. MAQNA Esports Club desperately trying to reinforce the entrances of this house. But Aurora, they might just be happy staying on the outside area of this house. I mean, they'll have to abandon it eventually, right? So no point breaching into this house. They'll just be on the side and on the roof. And while this is going on, Seoul will be in the center of the attention because they are in the circle right now. Titan Esports Club go down. HOTSHOTs now have to fight off both Aurora as well as MAQNA Esports Club. Unless they start fighting each other, then it will be very easy for HOTSHOTs to clean up the stragglers. But Aurora, they realize that they can't leave this house without breaching MAQNA Esports first. They force them down to the ground floor, and then the 4v4 begins.
MAQNA, one player gets taken down. Aurora is all around this vicinity. They're trying to make sure that they play the sly in this game. The two players sticking together. It's got to be Virus and Wenzi for the first time go away from one another. Axel can take a big advantage of it as Wenzi's footsteps is just going here and there. It's going to be Drain trying to do his best, and Aurora says we have wasted enough time, and they step out, before which they put a grenade out there, and Drain is going to get very low on his HP and eventually gets knocked out.
Oh my god, Aurora, they lose a couple of players in the process, but they eliminate MAQNA Esports Club, and they have farmed up enough eliminations for themselves. Straw Hats, meanwhile, have dealt with SHUL on the other side, so even they have quite a lot going in their favor. Both Straw Hats and HOTSHOTs, 4 people strong. Aurora need to time their attack perfectly. They need to bait Straw Hats and HOTSHOTs into fighting each other. And right now, it's just a long-range battle, breaking each other's glue walls and draining each other's resources. While all of this is happening, they're waiting for their active abilities to charge so that they're ready for the final battle.
The final battle, ladies and gentlemen, a 3-way Mexican standoff. To be frank, my enemies, my friend, is going to be one motto. Every other team will look out for. Troy, the last man standing, is going to be pushed by Aurora, and they're going to eventually put an end for the squad. And it all comes down to a 2v3 situation. It's HOTSHOTs. One of my predictions, still alive. Wait a minute. I predicted both? No, yes. One prediction still alive. I'm happy.
Okay, well, I don't know about you being happy, but Aurora are very happy right now that they only have to deal with 3 opponents instead of 4. HOTSHOTs lose 1 player in the process, but they've eliminated 1 important opponent. And now it's just them versus Aurora. Just the Pakistani contenders versus the Malaysian HOTSHOTs. Aurora, they are looking for their opportunity. Israel, the most experienced man on the roster, having played for several teams, now looks for a spot of weakness, but HOTSHOTs are not offering him anything at all. Not a single chink in their armor that he can exploit. Forced to pop the time turner, Leo and Sajid hop in for close range battles. Leo tries to go around them. Suez using the dash to maneuver and get the flank onto Sajid. Does go down to Anas, but it's Israel who goes for the rapid revive. The Tiwa coming in close once again. Leo, oh no, he loses the duel against Zeus. Sajid comes through with the trade. Back to a 1v2. Zeus once again finds himself in the same situation. It's deja vu for him all over again. And Anas says, no, I'm going to put your nightmare to an end and put you out of your misery. They win the booyah.
A booyah for HOTSHOTs who have been surviving, who have been craving to get one, to be frank, and then eventually they get it out there. HOTSHOTs, so proud of themselves, will look forward for some more domination. But the sad truth is they'll have to be consistent. But the rest of the teams out there, most of them have got enough number of eliminations to make sure that they've got decent amount of eliminations and average amount of eliminations to be added on board.
Woo! Well, this was... I'm going to say this was a good game for a lot of teams over here. Everybody who made it into the 4th circle had a decent amount of eliminations, even if they went down early and they didn't make it to the last circle. Oh my god, that shot from his perspective, that jump shot across the glue wall looks so much more impressive in first person. Sheesh. I'm so glad we caught that on replay. Leo, really good with that Kar 98. Unfortunately, loses that M590 battle against Zeus, but Sajid is right around the corner, so he gets the trade. And I like how hotshots play alongside each other, just providing backup whenever necessary. That being said, though, despite the fact that Aurora were low on numbers, the fact that they can turn a 2v3 into a 1v2 and then back into a 2v2, even though they lose the fight, the way they revive and they play off of each other, the way they ping pong off of each other is really impressive. Even more impressive from hotshots because they finally managed to convert a booyah after having so many high placement games but no booyah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now again, I'm looking forward to see how many of these teams have got 15 points in average, and sadly we see that no Indian team is able to pull it off. It's AUTOBOTZ, SHUL and REVENANT XSPARK with 10, 10 and 7 points respectively. BIGETRON as well are not having such a great run, and that means these are the teams to watch out for in the upcoming games. Nonetheless, the top of the table looks hot. It's hotshots. We've got 26 points in total, all thanks to their survival. And let's not forget that AGG, they've done a decent job. They've got 21 points, all thanks to their 19 eliminations.
Yeah, 19 eliminations. They were on fire. They were getting everybody, whether you're in the circle, outside the circle, whether you're being third-partied or whether you're just looting around. All Gamers Global were running around getting the shots onto everybody, and despite this being just their 4th game, they already have 55 points. They are so far ahead of teams like even DRS Gaming, who had more games than them. Even Demon Sprite is just within reach. So yeah, All Gamers Global having a phenomenal run so far. Aurora Gaming just a little better than them at 78 points in just 4 games. That is super impressive. That being said though, currently, all the teams of Group C are not in the clear just yet. Teams like REVENANT XSPARK might be doing well with 158 points, but then you have teams like HOTSHOT Esports and BIGETRON by Vitality. They're both tied up at 127. Not a great number for either of them. And then you have AUTOBOTZ Esports. Even though they're done with 10 games, they are still behind Team Falcons, who in only 6 games managed to get 101 points. Meanwhile, AUTOBOTZ are still at 89, so they are going at a snail's pace. They need to step up.
Absolutely. Stepping up was this man in the previous game, Hannes. With that, Morse was able to do something phenomenal. The VSK94 as well as a very good sniper for the team. Has got 5 eliminations. He's got 2,179 damage for 3 assists. Good to see that Marcos, Moko and Suzy. Yeah, these are the things I would love to see. But at the same time, let's not forget that lately we're able to see that every sniper is starting to choose and move towards the Morris.
Yeah, we see very few snipers who are still stuck on the Skylar, and even fewer people using the Nero. There was a time when Nero and Skylar were just used interchangeably, but that meta has gone. People have now finally figured out how to use the Morse, not just to reposition and get flanking angles, but also to just escape and keep your team alive. That's why you're seeing so many successful revives as well, because these Morse people, these Morse abusers, they just get to the vending machine undetected very nicely. Then you got Sajid, who's hybrid support plus Grenadier. Like, he's got the Beeson and Alvaro to be the Grenadier, but then he's got the Olivia and the Cassie to help his team survive. And we see very rarely how electrotherapy helps your team, because there are so many players who can just one-tap you out of existence, right? If you survive that initial encounter, if you somehow survive the first shot with like 180 damage or something with like 20 HP left, then the Cassie is really helpful to get your teammates back up at full health. But if you just get knocked in a single bullet, then good luck. Then the Cassie has absolutely no use. Then your Tiva will be of use. And hotshots having that super survivability with multiple Tiva users does help them stay alive in that final battle against Aurora.
Yeah, but again, I just like this approach from hotshots, from being aggressive to suddenly going defensive. We see that they were not interested in too many fights. They were clinical with whatever fights they took. They tried to keep everybody at bay. In the beginning, they tried to push towards the Riverside region, and from there on, they had a wide spread, then later realized that, hey, I think it's important for us to prioritize the circle. And then eventually, by the second circle, we see them take that leap from deep outside of the circle, made it to the very center, from where they had a really good ending.
Yeah, hotshots didn't even need to move around much, right? Like, they drop in peak, won their initial skirmish. I believe HOTSHOTs must have been dropping hot against AUTOBOTZ or something. At least that's what was written in the predicted drop spots. So they got that 6 eliminations in the first circle, 1 elimination in the second, and then look at that massive drought across the third and fourth circle. Most of the times you see teams get a bunch of eliminations in the third and fourth circle because they're in the middle of rotations, right? And you get to into a lot of fights while you're rotating. Meanwhile, HOTSHOTs, they were just sitting there and chilling, eating their popcorn, watching all the other teams fight. It's almost as if they joined the spectating crew with us. Yeah. But their patience, it was rewarded, you know, pretty proportionately. They predicted the right compounds. They stepped into the right houses just when it mattered the most. And even though there were so many teams trying to take that position away from them, so many teams trying to kick them out of the house, they stood their ground. So, yeah, HOTSHOTs did really well. But now let's move on to the next game. I want to see if there's any potential drop clashes over here, because that shipyard drop clash which Revenant and Straw had got into, it was a snowball which turned into 3-4 more teams getting into it as a third party action. But over here in Intellect Center, we see 4 teams off drop. Nah, I don't believe this. I don't believe this. Do you believe this, Arka?
Nah. I don't believe this. I somewhere feel that Farmtopia or Rust Out, there I would see 2 or 3 teams trying to contest with one another. But Intellect Center and teams like BIGETRON, RNTX, it's too good to be true, to be frank.
Yeah, it's too good to be true. Like, you're really telling me nobody's going into Turbine? Seriously? I mean, Aurora being in Grav Labs, understandable. There's a chance that even All Gamers Global will go towards Grav Labs if they don't find anyone in Plazaria. But yeah, they're most likely about to get into a hot drop against HOTSHOTs. But you're really telling me that the teams will all just drop into Intellect Center? Nobody will go for split drops? They're not going to do 3-1? I'm pretty sure at least a couple of teams send their members towards Mortar Ruins, because that vending machine in Mortar Ruins is going to be hotly contested in the second or third circle, and you better have one player stationed over there already, because he can just farm all those eliminations.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the circle trying to go more towards the center of the map, let's look at our predictions to see which among these teams are we vouching for. I've kept it pretty clean, if you ask me, because I'm tending towards those obvious teams, right? Revenant, XSPARK, even
MAQNA Esports is not obvious at all. That's like the least probable team to win.
I was just about to complete my sentence. The obvious ones, because they are the wounded lions in this lobby. So they would look forward for a proper comeback. EXE as well have not done such a great job. Revenant, XSPARK have not done such a great job. MEC also are kind of suffering right now. So obviously these are the teams I'll be vouching for, hoping to see them make a proper comeback, because they're left out with just 2 games, man. Obviously they'll look forward for it.
Okay, I think our definition of obvious is very different, because when you say obvious, I'm talking about teams that will obviously perform well. I'm talking about teams like BIGETRON, talking about teams like AG Global. Now, I picked AG Global in the previous game, so I'm not picking them here again just to keep things fresh, you know. But Revenant, XSPARK have been doing well, so that's why I picked them up. AUTOBOTZ, I would say, is a semi-risky pick. I mean, if they play well, they play well. They get a bunch of eliminations. Otherwise, they drop out with 0 placement points. But you, my friend, I salute you for your bravery. Like, MAQNA Esports pick is a team I would never have picked in my predictions. And the fact that you're cheering on for the Wounded Lion makes you a very big underdog supporter. Something that I couldn't be in this game, because I want to be safe with my predictions. But let's see whether the underdogs actually step up or not. Or will the usual suspects continue to be crowned by the fire as we hop into the penultimate game of the day. Put your hands together for Nextera, the most violent map, the map with the most eliminations, and the map with the most entertainment.
Oh, Intellect Center. The deceiving news is no more deceiving, my friend, because now we know the truth. We have seen through all these teams, and see there, the museum as well. We've got a team out there. Sadly, Turbine still remains, you know, untouched, and that's kind of a shocker for me. HOTSHOTs on the other side heading towards the Grave Lab region, and Mudslide. Are you saying that Deca Square is where we'll see most of the fight takes place? And it seems like yes is the answer.
I mean, AUTOBOTZ versus SHUL has been a standard Deca Squad fair since the last 2 months. Even when they were called Raiders United, these teams were clashing over here. Before they were even called AUTOBOTZ, while they were still called AUROBOTZ, these teams had been clashing over here. So these 2 teams getting into Deca Square is not a surprise. But Extreme X, do you want to get caught in the crossfire? Or will they stay on the outskirts and try to surround these teams? Because look at SHUL, while they have control of the vending machine, Extreme X try to get a piece of the spy. Tusin takes takes down Prince, and there is a trade. Prince does get revived by Bunny. Oh, no, wait, does he almost go down? How on earth did Bunny survive that? Wow, that pre-fire onto Tucson was ridiculous. And he gets the res onto Prince. Bunny, my god, the definite savior of his team. He's got a halo around his head probably right now. He's the savior angel of his team.
Yep. At the same time, let's not forget his teammates have also contributed well in this fight. Let's not forget that there have been several other teams who are also interested in this fight. They've been reading the lobby too well. AGAL is coming in closer. We see that TEC is not far away. So that means SHUL is still in the red zone. They need to make sure that they play it safe. They need to make sure that they have a good spread. One player gets away from this position, or fight it out and make sure that you have enough points, especially all of those eliminations. But what? EXE gets eliminated, and that's kind of a shocker.
That's what happens when you try to interfere in between SHUL versus all the other teams who are over here. I see that AUTOBOTZ have already left the area. I was about to say when you interfere between SHUL versus AUTOBOTZ, but they're out. TEC have taken their place, so it's a bit of a fourth-party situation over here, and SHUL are not ready for that. They get the knock onto Rahat, but he should be res instantly. Najat is trying to get that res already. Blade trying to scout the rest of the players away. Meanwhile, a potential fifth party situation brewing on the horizon as AG Global have arrived. They get the knock onto Kutush and they confirm him as well. Of course, since the vending machine is right there, they can buy him back instantly, but it's still another point in the pocket of AG Global. Cypher has been knocked, but I don't think he can be res right now. Baros is going towards him. And again, keep in mind, this is just a contingent of the AG Global army. There's two players on one side on the north, one player on the southern side of Deca Square. Their fourth player is still not in the region, so AG Global are not full committing to this fight.
Hey, guess who learned the lesson the hard way? It's me, man. I should have just stuck on to the obvious ones who performed well, because EXE and Mecha, both of them gets taken down. TC on this other side are having a very, very good run, as they've got 7 eliminations so far. Even though I'm sad, I'm smiling. I don't know what's happening with me. But for now, TC, they need to revive one of their teammates.
Yeah, at least you took a risk, man. At least you tried to cheer for the underdogs. I have not taken any risks at all. I've only been picking BIGETRON, AG Global all throughout the tournament. So yeah, I probably have the least bragging rights out of all the casters and predictions. Meanwhile, TEC continue to get punished. How is it that Kutush is the first one who always dies for his team? Poor guy gets plugged into the vending machine again. I think this is like his third life of the game. And I'm pretty sure he's going to have some trouble getting down. This time the opponent has changed though. It's no longer AG Global that's shooting him down. Now it's Straw Hats. So Titan Esports Club continues staying in Deca Square, but their opponents keep on changing. At one point it was EXE, at one point it was SHUL. Now they've fought AG Global as well, and now Straw Hats are their next opponent. It's like Titan Esports Club keep changing their opponents faster than I can change my clothes every single day.
Ooh, that's gonna pay. That's gonna hurt, but for now, Straw Hats, they're gonna be happy because they've got some eliminations. They've been rewarded for the risk they've taken. But have they worked out too much in this game? No, because Nil has got that bird's eye view. Probably would already told his teammates that SHUL have come in close. Who gets in there?
Oh my god!
He tries to put down a player, but that time turner, as well as the retaliation, was perfect. Bunny yet again does a phenomenal job for his team. Now Jack and Bunny have got another player to get take down, and that's gonna be shocked. Just hugging that vending machine, making sure he buys as much time as possible.
Bro, what is going on in Deca Square? We saw SHUL versus AUTOBOTZ over here first, then SHUL left.
No!
AG Global arrived, they also left, but now both the teams are back. It's like they want round 2. SHUL versus Titan Esports Club. Round 2, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. But Titan Esports are also out of here. Straw Hats, they are trying to leave, but shocked. He finds Jack. That's a very brave push. Jumps right up onto the staircase and challenges him. Gets the finish as well, so now Bunny has to reconsider his choices. Takes a little bit of damage, but before he can get inside, Boros finds the angle. And AG Global have announced their arrival.
Oh no. I'm kind of disappointed with Bunny because he was showcasing such good firepower, but he forgot the basics. Rather than looking up to the sky, sticking to the vending machine would have been a better, better choice for him. Nonetheless, Straw Hats are now been pounced upon yet again, and this time they're going to be rewarded with a little bit of a demise as 8 points walks away into AGAL, who have been striking only when the iron is hot, and Dew and his teammate Burrows have done a decent job of contributing 7 eliminations amongst the 8.
Yeah, AG Global come back to Decker Square after losing a couple of their members. They just lick their wounds, come back right back in. Meanwhile, Titan Esports Club, they were also trying to participate in the good old Decker Square brawl, but then they're like, guys, the opponents over here keep changing. Let's just go elsewhere. They go to a Zipway, instantly find one straggler from BIGETRON, but Seabank gets the res onto Koja and Deeks right back. So BIGETRON are back in it. 3 people on their team. Titan Esports Club, 9 eliminations strong. They've had to spend quite a lot of money onto reviving their players, but hey, I guess the coins don't matter as much as the actual points do.
Absolutely, but Revenant XSPARK, good to see them still fighting it out. But for now, another bird in the sky. AGAL, it's got to be Cypher who's trying to make sure that he moves around, traverses around, and gets closer to the Shocked, who is right now holding that position. Dew on the other side, he knows that there's only a place from where he can get away, but Shocked on the other side does a very, very basic mistake, due to which he's got to be punished. And AGAL, 11 eliminations. They come to this vicinity, they walk away with 11 eliminations.
Oh, this could be a potential mistake. AG Global scaling up the hill against SHUL. We got Sci-Fi and Nameless walking up the hill. Meanwhile, their teammates dropping out of the skies to target SHUL. They jump spot and figure out where Jack is. He's unarmed right now. Jack could be punished. Troll already forced to fall back. SHUL are not fighting this anymore. Bunny, Jack, both of them take to the skies and get out of here. They do not want to fight AG Global outside the zone. They would much rather get back into cover. And while they are over here, they use the UAV to scout out where the rest of AG Global members are. But they do not extend. They don't take the jump pads and follow SHUL. They know that it's a trap. Instead, they end up running into BIGETRON, who are now also backtracking. Bro, nobody wants to fight AG Global. Every time they get into a fight, their opponents just retreat.
Yeah, I guess that's the fear you bring once you know that you have a good start in a game. AGAL, they've been doing so well in fights, but for now, Cypher needs to be careful because it's BIGETRON in front of him. He's already got into the vicinity, no idea where the opponents are. He's just trying to traverse around. As long as that electrotherapy is ticking, that is where he survives. As on the other side, the amount of glue wall tossed in over here is going to give him a brief amount of time, but eventually gets taken down, and that's Nameless out, and Cypher is going to be handicapped.
Cypher handicapped, but still not bound by his mortal chains. Cypher, nice shot onto Kyong, takes away half his HP, instantly pops the glue wall as well, but he finds the gap, gets the knock onto Kyong, gets Deeks as well, and BIGETRON are falling like flies. AG Global take no prisoners.
15 eliminations. I mean, I don't think so they're going to stop anytime soon, because from Decker Square, coming back to Decker Square more than once now, picking up all the teams out there, they've been one of the reasons for the most of the teams being eliminated from the Decker Square region, and now they'll have to walk back into the circle where they know the obvious position of SHUL, but BIGETRON, they've still got one last man, and it seems like Dew has an idea where this lad is.
It kind of reminds me of that famous line from Thanos. You could not live with your own failure. So where did this bring you? It brings you back to me. That's what AG Global might be saying right now, because they probably feel like Thanos. They're probably responsible for eliminating half the server right now. 15 eliminations already. And we are down to the 7 teams, 23 players. Was 22 just a couple of seconds ago before Straw Hats got one more player back. And AG Global, even though their cars are burning, even though their fingers are itching, they do not relent. Look at SHUL. They're sitting on top of that billboard. It's a pretty nice place to get into. Crowned by fire. I love how the game just changes its billboard regarding whichever esports tournament is going on right now. It's a very good way to get the casual audience also to care about the hardcore esports scene. And right now, on top of this billboard are SHUL. They've got a bird's eye view onto the entire area. Yeah. And I really hope one of them has a chrono at least, so they can keep themselves safe from the imminent bullets that are going to be flying in their direction. Yeah, so Bunny, okay, yeah, Bunny has the chrono. He's got the UAVs as well. And the TY as well to keep his teammates alive, because That's the thing about staying up on top over here. You can get all the information, you can get all the eliminations, but you will also get shot a lot in return. So you better be ready to tank all of that damage.
And not only that, you need to have more than one sniper in the team, and that's why we see that Prince, Troll, Bunny, all three of them are making sure they've got some snipers in hand. And SHUL, this is the first time I see them not being looking forward for aggression, but rather looking forward for those final circle fights where they eventually, convert those 4v4s and make sure that they have a good run. You spoke about the time turner, but at the same time, let's not forget that Bolt Maker could be a little bit problematic for teams like SHUL so much in the open.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can always stack like 2 glue walls asymmetrically on top of each other, but that will only give you like, 2 meters of cover from the Bolt Maker. Not enough to fit your entire team. But you can always just drop down, There's plenty of room available for you. There's only 7 teams alive, by the way, in the 3rd circle, which is quite rare in Next Era, considering we see a lot of revives in this map all the time. And right now, the only team that have been mass reviving are BIGETRON, who surprisingly lose a lot of their players today. Titan Esports Club, they've got their eyes fixed on Straw Hats as well. So again, for now, these are just a couple of knocks. None of them dangerous enough to actually eliminate the entire team, so no alarm bells ringing. Even AG Global, right? They know that they can take a couple of pot shots onto AURORA. They'll probably get a knock or two, but confirming those knocks is going to be nearly impossible without full sending it onto your opponents. And it's too early to do so.
The circle is not going to keep things calm because it's going to start testing you. And there is it, a shot, a beautiful shot being connected from Cypher. We'll be getting that elimination as well. 15, no, they've still not got it. Whereas on the other side, AGAL, slowly they would want to inch inside the circle. They need a bit of a hard cover, and that's one of those ways they can pick up a booyah. But let's not forget that SHUL, they've got the bird's eye view, they're waiting for a moment to strike, and once they know that they have an opportunity, they can do it. But Troll gets taken down. It's Dew yet again, who's been the bearer of sad news for SHUL.
Look at Barros. He really wants to go for it, Like, you can see his temptation. He's calling out his name. Troll continues to get the shots onto AURORA. Oh, they actually convert an elimination as well. Okay, that's actually impressive. I thought AURORA would have a safe journey. Titan Esports Club could be their only threat, but SH will actually get a knock onto them. That makes the job of Titan Esports Club much easier. Right now, the windows are being blocked by the glue wall so that none of the grenades can do the damage. But Titan Esports Club are more than happy to scale up those staircases. And AURORA have taken the top floor. They've blocked out the staircases with glue walls. They've reinforced it with the glue UAV light as well. So this could be good. But while all of this is happening, BIGETRON Esports fall. And they've been eliminated.
Oh yeah, the last man standing eventually had to, put out of his misery. But at the same time, SHUL, Troll and Bunny, my goodness, from those top spot position, they've been eliminating teams and slowly picking up those eliminations. AURORA, they say we are done with it, and now they're pushing. It's going to be Zeus getting closer. 2 players already down and out. It's Rahat who's in troubles yet again. He also gets taken down, and eventually it's Arjun who puts to Kush, and that's the end of the squad for this team. AURORA with 13 eliminations. SHUL on the other side, AGAL as well. All 3 teams have now got double digits as eliminations. Which among them will walk away with the booyah?
AURORA did a really good job of winning that battle against the Bangladeshi teams, but now they jump right into the lion's mouth. Both SHUL and AG Global picked them apart in that risky maneuver, and now it's a proper 4v4. AG Global, the team who has been hunting down SHUL since the start of that Deca Square battle, now lock horns against them in a rematch. Who's gonna draw first blood? Jack and Bunny scaling up towards Nameless and Barros. They both are playing together. It's gonna be a mini 2v2 inside that time turner. Bunny lands the first shot. Nameless goes down. They try to go for the quick rest, but Troll instantly gets the knock onto Dew as well. Cypher has to fall back, but he can't. Troll is blocking his way. Cypher lands that shot, pre-fires onto Bunny, but 3 players are jumping on top of him right now. He locks them in a bunch of glue walls, trying to juke, trying to isolate those gunfights, and he's done well enough to get a couple of eliminations, but SHUL still triumph, still persevere, and they get their second booyah of the day.
It seems like the soul has entered the Raiders to walk away with a booyah. Beautiful game. Bunny, so happy. What I love the most about Bunny is self-obsession. I just love those photos behind him, which portrays his childhood, and he's still a kid by heart.
Oh, well, it's that childish demeanor that makes him seem like a cute contender. But boy, he's a demon. He's got a second face over here. He's like Harvey Two-Face Dent over here. One side is cute, the other side's a demon. And the sweeter they look, the harder they shoot at you. Meanwhile, look at these two very quick eliminations. Like, you got Aurora destroying, dismantling their Bangladeshi opponents. Meanwhile, AG Global destroy Total Winner. There was this one show called Destroyed in Seconds on TV. If you guys remember that.
I remember.
I think these could be highlights on that particular show.
I would rather say Fortune Fire, but nonetheless, it's SHUL who have done such a good job out here with that booyah. They've put enough points on the table. It seems like the beginning did not go their way, but the ending is for sure being written by them so far. 5 games, and I believe for their group, they've done a pretty decent job, if you ask me, because they've got 2 booyahs and both of them have come up with big numbers. Look at that, 33 points in total for this game as well.
Whew. Very, very impressive stats from SHUL. 21 eliminations, and even All Gamers Global. 20 eliminations is nothing special for them. They've been doing it all day long. So All Gamers continue to do what they do best, annihilate half the server. Titan Esports Club finally stepping up. There was a lot of pressure on them and they needed to do something about it, and 23 points in this game certainly is a good way to deal with that pressure. Aurora Gaming, 21 points for them. No surprises over here. Even Straw Hats, despite losing so many players in that Deca Square battle, despite having to go for so many revives on vending machines, they still farm enough points. So that's pretty nice. But after that, there's a sharp decline in the amount of points. Look at that. Total Winner, 5 points behind their Bangladeshi opponents, with only 12 to their name, and every other team in single digits. If you take a look at the overall standings, the overall standings are more or less the same, except that REVENANT and XSPARK continue to race ahead. It's 169 points for them. But even after having played less games than everybody else, RRQ Kazu are still on top. Only now have REVENANT XSPARK overtaken them. Before this, BIGETRON, Vitality, HOTSHOT, Esports, Straw Hats, they are still quite a ways away from overthrowing RRQ Kazu.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, since the groups have yet to showcase their true prowess, especially the other two, I feel like, Group C will have to do their best in the final game. I know that REVENANT XSPARK, I know BIGETRON, I know that HOTSHOTs have done decently good so far, but let's not forget that there are teams like AUTOBOTZ who have not had such a great run in the top 9. They've got just 91 points. They need to make sure they cross the 120 marker so that they stay in the top 12. It's all about making it into the grand finals, and that's one of the momentum. That's one of the most important things for you to keep in mind.
Now, even 120 points seems like a very, very risky and a very liberal cutoff. I think it's going to be way higher than that. So Autobots need a massive 30-pointer game just to be considered safe. And even then, there's no guarantees over here. SHUL, though, given the pace that they're at, I think they should be good for now. 7 eliminations from Troll. Amazing stuff. I've seen this player coming of age. This guy has matured so much over the course of these last 2 months. I mean, there was a time when he was like a blind rusher. Even though he's a sniper, he takes those mid-range and close-range duels. He's not afraid of a up-close gunfight, but now he's become so much smarter. 5,800 damage, especially since he was on top of that billboard. He just keeps farming damage from there. And that's the thing. He has so much damage, it doesn't reflect accurately in his eliminations, because that's what happens when you got the high ground. Unless you get down there and confirm your eliminations up close, all you're going to get is a knock and a bunch of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, again, his teammates have as well, right? It's a very basic combination, which I've seen lately. You have the Oscar, the Chrono, as well as the Mars. But let's not forget, we have got Steffi out here. I know that there's not going to be much of, I would say, explosions here and there. Nonetheless, they've still used the Steffi, and it has worked out for them with that Thiva.
Yeah, but look at that. Jack, Prince, Bunny, all of them having the exact same passive abilities. All of them using Joseph, Thiva, and Nikita.
Yeah.
Like, the entire team has the same idea, the same philosophy. In fact, two of them have the tactical, two of them have the team booster, and Prince even has the enhanced hammer. We've barely seen anyone use the enhanced hammer these days. Troll is the only person who's got the tactical market, which means he's the only person who can get his team around the server, since he's going to be the only one with access to the mini launch pads, and he's the only one with the Morse. So Troll is supposed to be like a satellite playing, and the bolt maker, yeah. So he's like a satellite playing away from the team, while the rest of them need to stick together as a unit and use that Diva perfectly, because these guys can survive anything you throw at them.
You spoke about Troll's damage number not speaking fair with eliminations. I would say that Bunny as well is walking in a similar footstep. He's got 3,115 damage for 6 eliminations with 7 assists. When it comes to close range, it seems like Bunny has replaced Troll. Nonetheless, Troll is coming back to form, and that could be dangerous for any team out there in the grand finals, because this team, once they know that they're running for championship, they just go berserk.
Woo. Let's take a look at the circle, ladies and gentlemen. SHUL. You see what they've been doing, right? I mean, they avoided the Deca fight square early on because they were in Plazaria and Grab Labs. But then they sent Troll towards Deca square, and Troll is like, guys, there's so much action over here. Let's get in on this. And they're like, nah. Let's move away. And there were so many teams fighting in Deca Square, right? I mean, AG Global, BIGETRON, Esports, you had Straw Hats over there, you had AUTOBOTZ over there. Half the server was present in Deca Square, and somehow SHUL avoid all of that. They get 8 eliminations in the first circle, and that was probably just Troll messing around all by himself. And then they go and settle down on top of that billboard, and from there, even though they get a bunch of damage, they do not get a lot of eliminations in the 3rd circle. Only in the 4th circle do they go and activate themselves, and finally they wipe up the entire lobby towards the end by farming 10 eliminations in the last 2 circles.
Yeah, absolutely. And now again, I'm starting to see a pattern occur, right? In the last few games, the team to walk away with a booyah tend to avoid fights in the 3rd circle, and due to which they're able to survive for the longest time possible. It's that phase where they take that rotation towards the higher ground, or probably they predict that the circle might end up in a vicinity. They go there, get early access to that topography, and then move on to get some eliminations as well as that booyah. So hopefully this pattern can be read and broken in the upcoming game, because the last game is where teams will be looking out for the randomizer. But at the same time, this is where I would like to ask you guys watching us right now, which is one of those maps you guys would love to see in this final battle.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let me see in chat what map you want to see. I mean, that being said though, we probably won't listen to chat because the randomizer will literally do what it does best. Throw a curveball at these teams. What map is it going to be? Oh, it's Solara yet again. Let's go. I was really happy seeing that Solara battle over here. We saw how well both REVENANT, XSPARK as well as SHUL played over here. And given that both these teams have been having a pretty hot day, both of them have 2 booyahs each, I wouldn't be surprised if they managed to get the win on this map as well. That being said though, this happens to be one of the strongest maps of AG Global and BIGETRON Esports. So these 4 names, REVENANT, XSPARK, SHUL, BIGETRON and AG Global, these 4 teams will do really well. But are they in our predictions? We will see that later. For now, God, why do we keep seeing this, bro? Why do we keep seeing 4 teams telling us that they're going towards TV Tower and then none of them go there? Yeah, this
I mean, this drops locations are not for us, but rather for the team, for the other teams, right? Just to make sure that they keep them deceived. And since we get that information, we try to speak around it. We always end up getting disappointed. Look at that. The hub completely empty. Riders Club completely empty. Delta Isle is completely empty. Studio, Bloomtown. Anybody who knows this game knows that this is not what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw an hour ago what happened in the Solara game. If anything, this game will be a carbon copy of the one we saw an hour ago, with probably just a little bit more smart rotations, you know, where the teams can avoid each other. That's all it's going to be. But I think these guys think that they can just lie through their teeth and we will believe them. They really think that there's going to be 4 teams dropping in TV Tower. I hope so. I hope it happens. Let's manifest it. But for now, I'm manifesting that my predictions actually end up winning. And even though I've been picking up very safe predictions all throughout the day, they haven't really gone in my favor, surprisingly. And I'm like, what is happening right now? So let's take a look at the predictions, because even playing safe can sometimes not win you the entire game. I've gone for AG Global and BIGETRON. Like I said, I've been picking them in almost every single game that I have made predictions for. And I picked REVENANT XSPARK just to add like a little sprinkle of risk on top of it. Meanwhile, I see that you have also not taken any risk this time. Thank you for not picking up the Wounded Lions. I mean, it's brave of you to do so. It's a really good show of support, but it bodes terribly for the prediction rate.
I never thought that I looked so foolish in the previous game. Nonetheless, you know, I know that every team is going to have a bad day, but that doesn't mean I push myself into one. But, you know, one of the reasons why I'm gonna go with REVENANT XSPARK is obviously because they'll be playing their last game of this phase, and they'll look forward to put as many points on the table as possible. The same goes for BIGETRON as well. Both these teams come from Group C, whereas SA2L, since they've got a Booyah in the previous game, they'll look forward to replicate the same way, try to have a controlled aggression. For that reason, I go with them as well. So AGAL, I'm not shocked with it, but again, I feel like this time they might get taken out early.
Alright, let's see if they actually get taken out early or if they survive this encounter. I do know that Extreme X have been having a bit of a shaky day. They were playing really well just a couple of days ago, you know, in the South Asia play-ins. They were handling third-party, fourth-party situations like an absolute boss. Today, they're not able to. Can they make it, ladies and gentlemen? It's the last game for the teams of Group C, and they must go all out. They must give it their absolute best and put as much of a buffer between themselves and the other teams of Groups A and B for tomorrow as they can. So put your hands together for the last game of the day, for the last game of Group C, Solara.
Oh yeah, things are gonna just get hotter. And look at Delta Isle being taken by two teams. The players where we saw that there might not be any kind of action. There is going to be action because there's going to be more than one team out there. TEC as well as SH. They're keen to get into that fight. HOTSHOTs on the other side go towards the windmill to have a bit of a breeze. Whereas the TV tower is where we see SA2L is going to be the sole owners of this spot.
Ooh, right. Eco Drain, surprisingly uncontested. But then again, Aurora never really had any trouble over there. Last time we saw a very nice early game battle in Aquarium. I want to see if that happens again. Meanwhile, SHUL versus Extreme X on top again. Prince is just running circles around Tucson. They're playing ring around the rosies with each other. Ooh. And Tucson, he was just trying to get the TPP so he can pre-fire onto Prince, but Prince is well aware about his tactics. He's tried that in the previous game as well in Deca Square when SHUL and Extreme X faced each other. This is exactly how Prince knocked Tucson down just one game ago. And he's trying the same thing on him again. It's not going to work. Prince wins that duel. Meanwhile, SHUL take down Hunter as well. Oh, no. Meanwhile, back down south, you've got Aurora facing AUTOBOTZ. And AUTOBOTZ didn't even want to contest Aurora over here in Eco Drain, but they've been forced into this battle because of bad rotations.
Absolutely, but again, Mad God, who was just trying to run away from this position, now chooses to come back into the fight. I'm kind of confused with what AUTOBOTZ are looking for in this fight. Johan gets in closer, puts a player down, and it's even Steven, ladies and gentlemen. Both these teams, but Aurora, since they are the team closest to the vending machine, they'll immediately get that revival as well. Mad God, on the other side, tosses a grenade just to make sure he keeps Axel at bay. And this is where Johan and Prodigy, they converge. And AUTOBOTZ, all of a sudden, looks like they might have an upper hand in this fight.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they might have an upper hand in this fight. Might being the key word. Okay, now they definitely can, now that they've got the knock on to Suez as well. But Aurora are already out of here. They get onto the zip rails and they bid goodbye to AUTOBOTZ. They can easily pick up coins along the way, unless Axel dies over here. Nah, he's safe. He's good. More coins collected, 900 pockets, and Zeus should be available for the re-grab once again. There you go. Zeus brought back to life. Meanwhile, SHUL versus MAQNA Esports Club in the Archway. Now, this is interesting because we just saw SHUL fight against Extreme X a couple of seconds ago. I do not know where Extreme X are anymore, but SHUL seem to have no problem over here. Oh, they see a Jeep on the horizon. They know that somebody has left that Jeep and just entered Bloomtown. Do they go for it, though? That's the bigger question.
Go Drain AGAL, they see a team and now they pounce upon them. Autobots on the other side might be the cleverer ones because they've got just one man to deal with and it's going to be Dew in the open. He knows to retaliate well, but this time around, Mad God says, no, that's not going to happen because Johan is the person to put him down and get that elimination. It's going to trigger AGAL to get into this fight, and Prodigy on the other side, he's running out in the open, and probably this is where he'll have to be careful because the other two guns are just aiming right at him.
Yeah, he was trying to get the knock onto Barros, who's going for the vending machine already. So Barros gets the res onto Dew, and he wins the duel against Prodigy. Mad God stands no chance against two people rushing him at the same time. So AG Global take only one casualty in the process, but end up getting 4 eliminations, and they force Autobots to leave Eco Drain and go elsewhere. I think their rotations can also be very predictable because from Eco Drain, there's only like 2 zip rails that go on the left and the right side. So intercepting their opponents will be pretty easy. Meanwhile, MAQNA Esports Club losing their members against Bigetron. Extreme X have been eliminated. We saw them clash against SHUL, but we did not see how they came about their demise. But SHUL have another opponent now. Oh, they almost tried to go for the finisher, but revenge comes through. Look at that. Triple Tiva, revive power. Jack comes back to life within a second of being downed, but they finally get the finisher. Sprint's also taken out. Revenant, XSPARK want a piece of this battle. They get inside. Bunny goes for the triple res instantly, but Titan Esports Club raced against Revenant XSPARK to get those eliminations first.
But Revenant XSPARK, are they going to hold back? It seems like they don't. Sohan in the time turner trying to buy some time. Hirsch as well, but from far away, Kunal, he's been doing the DRM this time around. Sohan gets inside. Rahat is going to be down, taken down he is. But the fair trade comes in and Kunal needs to run and make sure he reaches them beforehand. But I don't think so. It's going to be easy for them. Whereas on the other side, Tukush, he knows he's at a distance. He's got that revival chance. And that's one of the reasons it's going to keep this TEC on their feet. Kunal gets taken down and TEC are going to walk away with another elimination for themselves.
Yeah, Titan Esports Club survived this slaughterhouse against SHUL, against Revenant XSPARK, against all the other teams who want... Excuse me. Did someone call an Uber? Oh no! He wasn't even... What on earth? Johan hitches a ride with his opponents, jumps out when he sees another car, gets into the said car, and then dips. Bro, even Bollywood scriptwriters can't do this. What on earth was that? What did I just witness?
Power gets taken down. Mad God as well. They need to be careful. They couldn't pull off what Johan did in the previous game. But SH on the other side, they realize that they're not alone out here. It's not just one player. 3 of them bounce. And they make sure they pounce on SH as well as they fall back. It's going to be Trove who says it's better we fall back probably. The man disadvantage is not going to go our way.
Oh, but who is at a massive disadvantage right now? He tries to keep himself alive, but Mad God Johan pounce upon him. I still can't get over this, man. I mean, are the gas prices really so expensive that you're forced to ride share with your opponent? Sheesh. At least in Free Fire, you can at least respect the animosity. You can expect the hostility and not share the same car. How do you not realize that there's a hitchhiker with you? I'm gonna need a replay of that.
Are high, man.
Like, come on. I'm sure Trump didn't intend to do that. Anyway, politics aside, Cypher jumps back into the battle over here, but I think he realizes that he has way too many people over here. Barros comes right through, helps take down Power. Nameless gets the confirmation, but Mad God gets shot by Dew from across. Mad God had no idea the Dew was behind him. He really thought he can track both the AGL opponents, especially since Cypher and Nameless have that left to be active. He thought that he would be able to track both his opponents, but that's a third one. That's a surprise. Oh, Prodigy, now it's time for you to run away. This time in your own vehicle. No ride sharing this time. Yeah, that's what happens when you have your own car. You can drive it whenever you want instead of being kidnapped.
Nonetheless, it's an entertainment for sure. It's going to be AGAL who've got 9 eliminations and they realize how to tackle when you have an unnecessary passenger in your vehicle. But Prodigy, he's got a lot of job in hand. He needs to revive his teammates. He needs to survive as well. He's got 1 player back in the game, so far away, he'll be looking forward for a nearest vending machine. But for now, Prodigy says probably it's better I take this fight.
Yeah, Prodigy, he's run out of places to go. Oh, he's being chased. Cypher hot on his heels. Oh, almost made it to the coins. But those coins would have been useless if you can't go for the res anyway. Cypher puts him out of his misery, and AG Global continue farming, finally getting to 10 digits. 10 eliminations and double digits.
It's just another day at office for them, man. 10 points, it's a big number if you see at looking at the position or the timing of the game itself. But SATUL as well, they're also doing something similar. They've got 12 eliminations in total, but I'm kind of shocked to see that Revenant XSPARK are not able to get their footing back in a lobby like this. We see Vincent trying to run away from this position. TEC on the other side slowly use this, well, I wouldn't say railroads for now, but still use whatever is needed to traverse around to make it inside the circle.
Oh, Titan Esports Club, no danger for them now. They use the binoculars, discover nobody. So their entry into the zone is not going to be gate kept by anybody. So Titan Esports Club is safe. I want to see where are AG Global right now. Oh, cancel that. I want to see where is Aurora right now, because I see Aurora fighting against Revenant XSPARK. I see them now fighting against Straw Hats as well. So what on earth is happening to Aurora? Who are they getting into fights with? Is that just like one lone member of Straw Hats who was unlucky enough to come across them? Or is it a full-blown battle? I don't think so, because Extra just plugged in the one guy who got eliminated. And there you go, Johan. Look at that. Jumping right out of Straw Hat's vehicle into his own. He says, thank you so much. And then Straw Hats are like, sir, you did not pay us. We will give you 1-star rating on Uber. You are a terrible passenger. Of course he's a terrible passenger. He would have killed you if he got the chance. But now Sci-Fi is the one doing all the eliminating, shocked, destroying all his hopes of getting back into this TV tower and using that vending machine. He just needs to run away. Prince thought he could at least get one res. Oh, he does get one res. Aflatun brought back. But Prince has to pay the price with his own life.
I mean, a good passenger, bad passenger, doesn't matter. Right now, it's the sly. I really like that approach. But at the same time, I wonder what was he thinking when he got into the vehicle. Wasn't he sure that there's a passenger next to him?
No, bro. I'm more concerned about what was Straw Hats thinking when they let him into the car. And I'm so sad that I will never get to see how that happened. I just see them in the car. I did not see how they get inside. And that's the biggest mystery.
I hope he uploads his POV.
Oh, yeah.
Prodigy.
I'm probably going to DM him later. Anyway, look at Titan Esports Club. They have decent angles against Aurora, right? Because they're going for a 3-1 split. They've left one of their players, Scottish, just outside of Archway, while the rest of them have taken that zip rail compound ahead. Meanwhile, Revenant XSPARK versus AG Global. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Battles with the nade, Dew with the sniper, eliminates them all. And Nameless, using that charge buster to destroy Sohan. Cypher steps up. Every single one of these players stepped up to get one elimination each. And Revenant XSPARK, that spark was extinguished.
The spark gets extinguished, but the fight doesn't. It's got to be Aurora, BIGETRON, as well as TEC. All these three teams come way too close to one another. Aurora on the other side have eventually started to pick up some eliminations. They see Blade close by. Axel is not moving. He was waiting for his teammates, and once they understood they've got an opportunity, they put them down. But BIGETRON, they're not far away. I wonder where BIGETRON went all of a sudden.
That is actually a good question. Even I have no idea. I hope that was a rhetorical question. Oh, there they are, fighting against AG Global. Cypher and Dew both striping at that close range, destroying BIGETRON in a matter of seconds. What is with this team? What's with them and speedrunning all their opponents? Shiz, BIGETRON didn't even realize who were they fighting. And before they can even pull their weapons out, before the time turner can even give them a semblance of cover, they were eliminated. I would not want to face AG Global right now because they are red hot on an elimination streak. 21 in the kitty already.
AG. I mean, I'm looking at the overall standing and I'm trying to find out which group they belong to, because they actually play like they're from Group C and they've done, this is their last game which they're playing. 20 eliminations already and they're hungry for more. Whereas on the other side, we see that Mech gets taken down, they get eliminated as well. HOTSHOTs on the other side trying to survive for the longest time possible. TEC, sad news, goes their way as another player gets taken down and gets confirmed.
Meanwhile, HOTSHOTs have a decent compound for themselves. Even Straw Hats do. Both these teams in the circle have nothing to worry about for the time being. However, Autobots and Titan Esports Club, both of them are outside the zone and they will need to find their way inside. And there's barely any cover to work with. So they better have their chronos available. They better have the glue UAVs available. Otherwise, they will have no place left to stand. At least Aurora gets taken out in the process. They were anyway down to their last leg, so they will be eliminated. But Autobots have most of their members alive. Even Titan Esports Club, they've got 2 players alive. And sure, they don't have the numbers to take on HOTSHOT Esports, but if Total Winner go towards HOTSHOT Esports first, then maybe AG Global can pile on top of that. Look at that, Total Winner, while 2 of their members crash into this compound in the vehicles, Aflatoon from afar gets taken down by HOTSHOTs.
Autobots, they need this game. They've been playing clever. They've got 11 eliminations, and now they make it inside the circle. All they have to do is look around and pick up some eliminations and make sure they end up with a booyah. SHUL on the other side, they've got 18 eliminations, and they're hungry for more as we see that Bunny is trying to fall back. Probably end up getting into a crosshair of another team. Rather troll. Oh my god, the shot connects. Cypher gets taken down, and that means HEAL are bound to get taken down, and it's got to be done by Bunny himself. SHUL, 20 eliminations, and they're looking for more.
Yeah, it seems like they're not satisfied with the 20. Meanwhile, Autobots, more than eliminations, they need this compound, and they use the Kenta to get up close. But Who and Shock use their shotguns perfectly. The Trogon singing the songs of death, and the nades from top bring HOTSHOTs into the mix. Somehow, Power is still alive, even though he's not in that tiny area. Autobots are not out of this just yet. Shocked, however, feels himself getting trapped. He tries to go around the other side of the zone, tanking a bit of the blue zone damage, but somehow avoiding actions. Leo forced to pop that time turner because he's got the rest of Autobots shooting at him. And while all of this is going on, Kutush is just trembling, shaking in his boots, hoping that nobody spots him. Shocked inside that cocoon of glue walls, has already recovered most of his health, and now Actions realizes that, yeah, there's no point trying to fight this battle anymore. This compound is of no use to us. Let's go to the top of the hill where SHUL are sitting right now.
Oh, they go in there and they put on Bunny. Immediately, Bunny gets taken down. It's got to be HOTSHOTs as well as Straw Hats. Both these teams will have to stay in a unison. HOTSHOTs, after they're done with the deed there, now they move towards the other teams. Prince, he is the last man standing. He also gets taken down. Now we'll have to see which among these teams survive for the longest time possible, because HOTSHOTs, they're just on a hunt.
Kutush? Excuse me, he just left. He just dipped out of there, bro. And he left Shocked behind over there. At this point, it's a game of hide and seek. 1 player each from SHUL, Titan Esports Club, and Straw Hats. All of them playing hide and seek. Straw Hats get eliminated. At this point, HOTSHOTs are the seeker. SHUL and Titan Esports Club are just hiding. They're just biding their time, hoping that the other team gets eliminated first. Oh, they found Troll. He's going invisible. But there's no escape over here. He outlives Kutush. He gets to 2nd place for his team. But it's HOTSHOTs who end up ending this game of hide and seek and winning the booyah in probably the most anticlimactic way ever.
Yeah, absolutely. This game had everything, my friend. Unwanted passengers to a fight where you would want to survive for the longest time possible. 2 teams picking up 20 plus eliminations, and then HOTSHOTs. There's only 3 teams who have walked away with booyahs today. All 3 have got 2 for themselves.
Exactly. This game had everything. It had all the qualities of a Netflix special. It had comedy. It had its timing. It had extreme action. It had drama with 2 teams getting 20 plus eliminations. But in typical Netflix fashion, they screw up the finale, and it's the most anticlimactic thing ever. It's basically HOTSHOT playing hide and seek against 3 individual people from 3 different teams.
I hope nobody heard that.
I hope everyone heard that. This is me criticizing Netflix. Bro, this is absolute cinema right here. FFMAI 2026 summer. Way better than any high-budget live-action show that you can watch.
That touche for that, my friend. But again, it's HOTSHOTs. Nothing taken away from them. The limelight shines bright upon them with the 2nd booyah. They walk away with smiles on their face. And it's good for us to see that teams who need to perform from Group C have actually done that. REVENANT, XSPARK, and HOTSHOTs have put so many points on the table that probably they'll be walking into the grand finals with their heads held high. But the deed is still not done. There's still 2 more groups fighting it out tomorrow, where we might see some disappointments as well.
Oh, yeah. I think we might just be setting ourselves up for disappointment over here when we look at the overall standings shortly. In this game, though, look at that. It's been a while since I've seen 3 teams get 25 plus points, and still there are some points left for the others. Like generally when you have SHUL at 30, All Gamers at 28, HOTSHOTs at 25, and the top 3 teams end up getting so many points, generally everybody else will be in single digits. But still, somehow AUTOBOTZ managed to farm 12 eliminations in that entire chaotic battle. They still farm 17. Titan Esports Club, again, they also are at 17. Aurora Gaming find 12 eliminations with 15 points in total. Straw Hats, even though there's not a lot of eliminations, they still find 14 points. So this is actually very surprising. The fact that the 4th to 7th place team still have double digits after the top 3 teams getting 25 plus points is rather rare. It tells you how evenly distributed this entire game was.
Yeah, and guess what? A Cassie with a Vincesta. Even that is what we're going to see as the MVP of this game. And Alvaro, oh my god, what's happening here? We see a Cassie who goes in for, healing. There's no Thiva, okay. And then you've got a Vincesta to be used. You see Basin and Alvaro for explosion. We've got Nikita for quick reload. And a team booster. Okay, Sajid, slowly you're starting to make sense.
Yeah. Survival, the priority over here for HOTSHOT Esports over here. Cassie really helped them quite a lot. And surprisingly, HOTSHOTs today were getting into fights where they take a bunch of damage and the Cassie instantly helps them back up, almost instantly healing them at full HP. Which is rather rare because we have seen so many teams lose their players to one-taps. These VSK users, these sniper users, whether it's AWM, MH2B, have been super good at connecting those headshots. And the level of the competition lately has been so that you don't get any chance to react to your opponents. But still, HOTSHOT Esports survive across everything. They've got 2 players focusing on survivability. You've got Leo with the Chrono, Thiva, and the Joseph. Again, good way to keep your team alive in that difficult situation. Along with Sajid using the Cassie and the Alvaro, Olivia, Nikita. That's amazing. But then actions, like typical actions, he's using the Oscar just as an aggressive player would, and Anas is using the Morse. And Anas has been really stepping up for his team. Up until now, we've only been praising action. But in this game, as you can see, everybody does an equal amount of damage, or more or less the same. They're all in the 1,000 plus range. And that's the thing that we were telling about HOTSHOT Esports. You can't just have actions carry the team. Everybody needs to step up, and everybody did over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this is one of those teams I've seen the most clinical in this lobby, right? Just 1,200, 300 damage, max 1,500, but got enough eliminations. And the rotation as well, right? We did not see too many rotations occur because most of them were trying to, get away from their hot spots, try to get into fights, and then again come back and make sure that they have the circle for themselves.
Woo. Let's take a look at the circle analysis over here because I see AG Global going all over the map. And compared to that, HOTSHOTs did not really move much at all. They held onto that circle right from the second circle itself. They held onto that spot and they just stood over there because HOTSHOTs and Straw Hats were the only ones in the zone. Everybody else had to move around. Like you can take a look at AG Global's movement and you take a look at HOTSHOTs movement. They're the polar opposite of each other. HOTSHOTs stay in one place all throughout the map. Meanwhile, AG Global go all around.
But I'm impressed with SATUL, right? They started off with 10 eliminations and they were consistent. They were having fights in every single circle, due to which they have a good footing in the overall standing. Ladies and gentlemen, REVENANT XSPARK will be on the top of this table with 174 points with all 12 games played. Now they are on the top of the mountain. We'll have to see who can outshine them. It seems like RRQ Kazu have got a great opportunity as they've got 141 in just 6 games played. My God, shows how good of a competition we can expect in the upcoming days. SATUL on the other side have got 117, being the flag bearers for the Indian teams, have done a decent job to get 2 booyahs in a single day.
Yep. And RRQ Kazu at 3rd spot, still dwarfing everybody else, having less than half the amount of games that they have played. Somehow, BIGETRON by Vitality are tied up with RRQ Kazu at 141 points each. And even Straw Hats are tied up at 141 points. There's 3 teams having the same number of points, except one of them dwarfs the other 2. Literally mogs on them by playing only 6 games and still getting that much damage done. So I think 141 can be considered the good cutoff over here. Because even though MAQNA Esports Club have 118, SHUL, Aurora are just a few points behind them. I don't think 118 is enough. I think you need to get to at least 140. just where Straw Hats are. I think that's going to be the standard over here now. Meanwhile, you've got Aurora Gaming at 114 and All Gamers Global at 112. Both these teams did really well, and I think they have a very good chance of qualifying the next day as well. Even SHUL, for that matter, despite All Gamers having 92 eliminations and SHUL having only 69, SHUL with their consistency are still way ahead of All Gamers Global. But AUTOBOTZ, having completed all their 12 games, getting only 108 points. Yeah, that looks risky to me, bro. I don't think AUTOBOTZ are going to make it.
I mean, we've still got 3 other teams making it through. Almost. Because, by the way, SHUL have played, it seems like they've done a decent job. Apex Gaming as well, they've got 86 in the 6 games they've played. So, REVENANT XSPARK, obviously, you know, they almost have that golden ticket in their pocket. So, probably AUTOBOTZ, they might have fallen short, but yes, they did give a good run. And the Bangladeshi teams, after showing so much of prowess in the previous week, now look a little bit weak.
Yep. Some teams look weak, some teams look super strong, and some teams have left us hanging on a cliff, wondering whether they will make it or not. And all of the suspense will be unfolding tomorrow. All the mysteries will unravel tomorrow when the last group plays. So tune in again, and we'll see you soon.